Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game, Rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try hard to stick to reasonable languages for all ages, listeners should know that this is a podcast that may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., may bear resemblance to persons living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. The story so far has been a troubling one. Several of the main characters have been implicated in deaths of 2 men found at the Kiss, a speakeasy nightclub in downtown Chicago. Taken in for questioning but then released, the investigators have banded together in hopes of clearing their name and determining who killed these 2 men and why. So without further ado, let us lift the curtain on Chicago in March of 1923, where our investigation is already underway. So what I want to do before we kick things off tonight is I would like you to introduce yourself as your character and then introduce who they are. Just tell me about your character, what their name is. That way people can get an idea of who they are. Start us off to my right.
Well, my character is Lawrence Edward Oliver Forsyth. He is a civil engineer. He is 38 years old as of the recording of this adventure, having been born in 1885. He is most notable for working on the Panama Canal, and after that went into private service. He did very well for himself. Currently, he's trying to clear his name from the various disturbances around the murder at a certain speakeasy called the Kiss, because he would like to have his job helping to build the McCormick Tower.
All right, and Mr. Forsyth is played by
Lonnie Harris.
Excellent. And you, sir?
All right, Jack Doyle, private investigator. He worked about 32 years old. He worked on the Chicago Police Department before joining the Army to fight in World War I. After coming back, he became a private investigator. He is currently looking into several different cases and trying to clear his name also from the shooting at the Kiss.
Oh, it's almost as if it's an infamous thing that's happened to all the characters. But played by
Jake Manning.
Very good. And to the left, my left of the table.
My character's name is Dr. Sigmund von Tatenbach. He's a doctor from Germany, as you can tell. He's 32 years old. He's only lived in Chicago for 3 or 4 years. A very caring man, generous to the community. He is currently investigating not only what happened at the Kiss to seemingly everyone, but also a possible, what he believes to be some sort of infection involving various women of the night. Mm-hmm. And played by James Pennell.
Very good. Interesting. And last but not least,
Maeve O'Shea. She is a performer / singer at various speakeasies. Also has some ties to the Order of the Golden Dawn. She was performing the night of the shooting at the Kiss and is involved with the doctor because he got her out of jail. Played by Tiffany McCaskey.
Very nice one. There is one player that is not with us tonight. We will leave her introduction until she joins us. So to kind of summate things with the players here, they are investigating kind of where the people who were murdered at the Kiss, they're investigating where they came from, and they've come upon some very troubling clues during their investigation. They hope to clear their names and possibly get to the bottom of why these women of the night continue to get infected. So we should probably collate the story a little bit, as it were. Make sure everybody understands where we're at. Last left our investigators. There was a search that had been done.
Yeah, we had absconded from the packing offices with some documents.
Correct. So the investigators went in under kind of a false pretense, went into the Chicago Union Stockyards to Swift Meatpacking Company, and then broke into said offices, and then kind of ferreted around the main floor. They were able to locate where Stanley Holden's desk probably once was, had been pretty much left to dust. They found the desk of Bob Creedy. So they know now that, this is where this guy worked before he up and left after speaking with Mr. Doyle. Providing Mr. Doyle some interesting information about what may be going on with the Swift Meatpacking Company. And then upstairs, a rather interesting bit of,
We found Mr. Swift's office.
You did. You found not only his office, but what might have been his residence, temporary residence.
Okay.
A very messy man. He seemed very, very not anything like what people had said about him before. Very, grim and proper.
More of a nest, less of a room.
Yes, actually. Between the...
It kind of looked like some place that somebody has spent a good deal of time and not leaving. You know what I mean?
Okay. Like hold away, kind of. Okay.
Possibly.
And it smelled like that too.
Ooh, so obsessive kind of bender, sort of.
Well, it was like sweat and moldy food and nasty clothes.
Literal haven't left to wash to bathe.
Some of that might have to do with the fact that he probably hasn't been there for a couple of weeks.
Right.
But the way it kind of looked.
Right.
Okay.
But before that, it looked like he may have been hiding out there.
You said there's old food?
Yeah.
Well, there was old food.
But you're
We're
not there.
currently.
Okay. I didn't know if I was tagging along.
It's okay.
But Tiffany ate
or
it,
if
so it's fine.
I ate it all.
We have
So
we
then
made
I could throw it up and you
the
could examine it.
decision that he went back to the office to check on something, just so that way
Wonderful.
it made a little bit more cognitive sense.
Totally understand.
So we open the curtain this evening with evidence in hand, and the characters having left Swift Meatpacking Company and left the Chicago Stockyards for, I would assume, the doctor's office to confer with him what they've found. So we will raise the curtain then with perhaps a knock on your office door.
Enter. Please come in.
Doors open. Characters, 3 or 4 of them walk on in.
Doctor. Good evening, Mr. Doyle. Miss O'Shea. Mr. Forsyth, please come in. Come in, make yourselves comfortable. There's coffee in the pot. It's the only thing I wish to drink. It's currently, my head is killing me.
Medicine,
Yeah, I was
doctor.
gonna say, don't forget you got the whiskey.
Right. Yes, dude. The whiskey, which was acquired in the garage of the Swift Meatpacking Company offices, that is, to your rather trained German nose, no offense to any potential German listeners, which of course it won't be, this actually smells fairly well made. This does not smell like bathtub hooch from Chicago. This smells like someone knew what they were doing.
This has a nice bouquet.
It does. A nice kick, too.
Little splash in the coffee. I'm not trying to get roasted or
Sure,
anything.
no, of course not.
I'm going to Irish this up. Put it on the desk. Clunk.
Yep, clean.
Well, there go our
glasses.
Irish listeners.
That's it.
You got any glasses?
In the cupboard behind you. So what did you find?
Something very, very interesting.
And disturbing.
When you say disturbing, Mr. Doyle, it takes on a whole new and sinister connotation.
You got that sheet?
What sheet?
I do.
Not sure where you're keeping it, but I'm assuming it's in some sort of
Yeah, it's in my satchel.
satchel. Yes.
First, I got this.
You're a doctor, so...
What time of day is it?
It's late.
Late in the evening.
Yeah, it's late in the evening. Your assistant has already gone for the evening.
If you wouldn't mind reading it for the record, that way Heather would.
She read the letter last time.
Did she read the letter?
She
Okay.
did read the letter last time.
And make
want
sure
us to
that the
read it
lights
out
are
loud?
off in the front office and the door is locked
Do you
and
want us to
closed.
read out loud?
It would be wonderful if you'd read it out loud because it is a
Mr.
piece of
Swift, it has taken me months to work up the courage to write this letter. I wish so much to have gone differently between us, but I can no longer hold my tongue. I saw in the depths of that mud hole, what I saw in the depths of that mud hole was indescribable, the sheer horror. How can you stand it? By what means do you put one foot in front of the other? When I come to you and your wretched company, my family was beyond poor. My wife and our son sat days from the streets and bread line. Had I among the clarity, we would be there now. all you have left. We are... What? I'm sorry, English is not my first language.
You have left of me?
Yeah. These things, my career, profession, years of it. I'm sorry, my English is not...
All you have left me are these ravings, my career, profession, years of collegiate study.
Wonderful, thank you. Yes. And me, the reputation sits in tatters, my love. The grace that sounded my soul next to... I'm sorry, my eyes. Perhaps, Mr. Forsyth, perhaps you can read that next line?
My love, the grace that saved my soul lies next to me here, subject of your depraved and twisted visions. These things you did to her I cannot utter or write. My son now slips through your yard. Something the meat.
Would you like some assistance?
Mr. Doyle, turn up the lights. Perhaps that'll...
Sure thing.
Okay, so a couple of things about the letter that we should get clear. It's not just bad penmanship per se.
No, it's scrawled.
Right, and the purpose is the scrawling from those of you who've looked at handwriting especially is that this note was written, somebody's furious, and so they're writing very fast.
An angry, firm, and quick hand.
Yeah.
The grace that stirred my soul lays next to me here, subject of your depraved and twisted visions. The things you did to her I cannot write or utter. My son now sleeps through your yard, among the meat and the blood, all to provide for a house filled with his mother's nightly screams and shrieks. I will never step foot inside your office again. My family and I are leaving Chicago forever. The letter is dated the 11th of January 1923, so this would be about 2.5 months ago. It is not signed.
No.
It was 2 weeks, so it's dated 2 weeks before the fire. We think that because it's Grace, that it's obviously Grace, what was her name?
Grace Holden. Grace Holden's her last name.
Right, and because we already know that Sammy was already at the
only one with this child. Indeed.
And how long before Grace was committed?
Well, the doctor should have her commitment papers.
Yeah.
I do have.
He has the medical papers that were found.
Okay.
Her medical record of admittance.
Yes. Her admittance was on September 17th. No, that's her date of birth. I'm sorry. You'll have to excuse me. County? Here it is. 11/11/1922.
Okay.
So
November of 22.
the year before, November the year before.
So there's 2 months difference between the time
she was committed.
versus the time he wrote the letter.
But he said she was back home at that point?
That's not exactly what he said.
No.
The letter itself says that he was lying next to her.
These are minor up.
So he may have
Well, I'm
just been
thinking of a lot of
up at
them,
the
That's okay.
sanitarium.
So then the other thing that we found interesting that you might be interested in, which I am going to be cross-referencing symbols of, is this.
Just gonna lay it on him, huh?
Yep.
What she hands you is...
I figured he can handle it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll sand.
Okay. Gladly.
Welcome to Gaming Night, roll sand.
All right, let's go with the swirly dice.
Yeah.
All right. No. 80 over 65.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you luck out 1 sand, sir.
I lose 1.
You lose 1 point of sand.
And
What you see there is rather shocking. Beyond
I think if it was doctor stuff, he'd be fine.
Yeah, for the most part, normal doctor-y stuff
Yes.
is perfectly fine with.
Sure.
This is something... No, you would not see this in a medical log. This piece of parchment here is rather startling. It appears as if there are some strange arcane writings on it, and then also There's some rather ghastly depictions of the human body and what might be going on with that body.
Yes. I don't, well, I must confess my medical knowledge is not as useful here.
We thought maybe you would
Bless you, Mr. Doyle.
have some more insight into it. Some of those symbols I can cross-reference in some of my books.
Well, this is obviously the spinal column, specific vertebrae. Perhaps some sort of cerebral infection. I mean, if I'm spitballing here, is what you say? I'm baseballing? I don't know. I will have to look at it. I don't know. This is obviously some sort of brain tissue. What is that? But
Well, it looks like teeth, so is that maybe how it's referencing how it infects?
bite, perhaps.
Because we've seen bites on other...
Also, it's, the teeth here, the mandibles here, are also quite prominent. I don't wish to look at this right now. With respect to you.
Totally understandable given what we've seen.
I will come back to that, I promise. But at the moment,
There was also a playbill.
playbill.
Yes.
Yeah. If you think it's important.
We're going to the theater.
Yeah.
Well, then I think it is important. I do not believe in coincidence. I doubt you do as well, Mr. Doyle.
Nope.
One love never feels the heart. Blossomed.
Is that the same playbill that
It's good play.
was it Trainer or Willis? When I entered his apartment, I found one there.
It's O'Shea.
You went to the
One love ever fills the heart.
Holden
One
House.
fills the heart.
No, I also went to one of the apartments with the guy.
That's
One
exactly
of them. I can't remember if it's Trainer or Willis.
Oh, right. You would have went to Willis's.
Willis's, because Trainer lived.
Right.
Perhaps.
It might have been staying in the Swift
What do we
apartment.
A cloud. Say.
It's hard to say. You could always ask him. Wait, no, he's dead. Sorry.
Yeah.
What are the dates on it?
Still asked.
So yeah, same playbill.
Okay.
What are the dates? And what is the next show?
Got a paper? Probably. I mean, you're a doctor's office, I would assume.
Yeah. Go out into the waiting area and grab today's paper.
Grab a paper and
Yeah.
unfold it and start looking through the arts and entertainment section of the paper. And it looks like the opera in question, Blossom Time, the play, as it were, stopped production probably a good month ago.
Okay.
It stopped probably just after Valentine's Day. It has a review because they keep everything that they played for the year in the paper, and it basically tells a tale of this tale of lost, unrequited love, and they talk about it's a spring play. It's meant for to lighten hearts before things thaw, so to speak. As far as
Lovers. It's a play for young lovers and
Yeah.
friends.
Cool.
So maybe he was taking a girl?
I see that playbill. So him and Willis had this.
I wonder if there's somebody in the performance
Or something else there.
or something else there. Well, that would mean we would need to speak to someone in the performance or investigate the theater.
Right. Is there anything else going on in that theater yet?
At the moment, yeah, there's a totally different play going on.
Who was in the play? Were there any names?
No, not any big names. Mostly Chicago performance artists that.
But no familiar names that would jump out at us.
No.
Or jump out at Miss O'Shea.
I don't think so. No.
She moves in different circles.
She absolutely is in a jazz club. Yeah. And the theatery, artsy people are probably
What else is the heart?
Too
somewhat.
good for me.
Yeah. Well, they probably make more money than
It's a
we do.
stretch, I know, but still.
I mean,
Faux show.
We have very few other actual clues.
we do. Someone's gonna need to go up to that sanitarium. and visit.
I thought
Mrs.
Heather
Holden.
was doing that. She did go up.
She did not.
We just found out about it still.
She was considering it, yes.
Oh.
Well, a sanitarium, you would need someone with medical credentials to get in.
Right.
Well, I mean, you could always go and visit.
Sure.
But if you actually wanted to,
See the records or anything.
you're probably going to need to be a doctor.
If only we
Right.
move on. Wait.
If only.
All right, well, Mr. Doyle, I guess it has been decided that I'm going to the sanitarium. Who else would like to go with me?
We're all going to end there anyways.
I can
But
go
it
with.
seems you want to go with me?
Because if we're going to try and dig up Grace, should probably have another female with you in an all-female place.
Wunderbar. And good thinking. Mr. Doyle, how do you feel about investigating the Blossom Time with Mr. Forsyth?
I was actually thinking about doing that.
Or do somebody need a date? So it's not...
James, give me a luck roll.
I don't need a date. My credit rating's 45.
Yes, 31 under 65.
When you were looking through the paper and you were rifling through the section for the theater arts, you remember seeing that their show times specifically for the theater are Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and that the only day they're actually closed of the week is Monday, which is tomorrow morning. So they're going to be closed. Well, he could probably go there as a private investigator.
Slap the paper down in front of him.
I'm just saying, if you're going to talk to someone,
Right.
you would probably know that there's going to be less people if it's closed.
In general, I've already broken into 4 different places in the past 2 days. I'll probably not break into another one.
I'd say if I stop a perfectly good streak.
No, we can go to the hospital.
Hospital it is.
All right, so what I'm going to do is what's called redlining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull a Scooby-Doo and
No.
Yes, correct, that's redlining. And so I'm just going to go, okay, people get a little rest, they reconvene, and you meet back up, and then Mr. Forsyth, I assume, is driving.
Yes.
Because he's the vehicle.
Yeah.
You get into the vehicle, and you head north.
Well, actually, technically, she could get a vehicle, but I don't know how that would work.
It's been a while since I've been in a car
Jimmy's not
ride.
going to want to go out of town.
Yeah, that's probable.
It has been a long time since I've been in an automobile ride. This would be quite enjoyable.
You could always take the train up there.
Where
as
did
well.
I put my driving gloves? One moment.
So,
I figured you'd want to be in the rumble seat with your nurse. I mean, I don't have a rumble seat, but you could
Lily is not
pretend.
coming with me. I'm leaving Lily here. The further we go, the more I'm quite certain I will not be bringing Lily with.
yeah, I don't think you'd want to bring Lily with you. Just as a doctor, you're going to want to leave someone here.
Absolutely. That is a Monday morning that we'll be leaving. So I would want her here to at least handle the minor patients that come in. And
She's competent. I mean, she's been looking after you while you've been going crazy the weekend, so...
and she can fill prescriptions. And honestly, Monday mornings, that's all I want. Really would.
She can dole out liquor with the best of them, absolutely.
Okay. You drive north. You drive north to... Well, it can only really be called one thing, and that's Dunning. The Chicago State Asylum at Dunning is, well, fairly infamous for those of us who live in the Chicago area. Anybody who's lived here most of their life, Dunning is the type of place where it has the kind of namesake that kids use to joke about with other kids. They're going to send you to Dunning.
You'll get Dunning.
Uh-huh.
It's
that sort of place.
stonework.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this is a very, very traditional type of asylum. It's very low for the most part. It's wide.
Mm-hmm.
And there are multiple buildings. There's a very long drive up. So what I'll do is I will show you guys some pictures so that way you can see what I'm talking about.
I don't know if any of you have ever spent any time in one of these places. Not, of course, insinuating anything, but anyone you speak to that is not a member of the staff, do not give them anything. Try not to make any physical contact. There will be all sorts here. And some of them could easily be aroused to anger or violence. If you do encounter any problems, do not hesitate to call for me or an orderly as quickly as possible. These things can get out of hand quite fast.
It looks nice. A big sweeping stone steps as you go up, arches and stuff like that. And then inside, it has a very similar feel to a lot of standard asylums of the day. So you get a lot of... The trees here, as you guys drive up, carry the sadness of the building with it. They droop. The branches kind of dip low, and as the auto kind of plumbs along closer and closer to the building, you almost feel that the engine's going to develop a cough, as if a sickness that resides here in Dunning, one that's not sensible by the nose or the ears, is going to infect the car and force it over. But you do finally arrive. This is one of the hallways that was common at Dunning.
My God.
With people just laying in the hallway.
I do not like these places.
Of course, you haven't seen that yet. Dunning was once called a tomb for the living. And just a quick historical note. Chicago Asylum at Dunning got closed twice. Until it eventually got turned into Chicago Reed Hospital. And then eventually, in I think the late 30s or 40s, Dunning was completely demolished and leveled.
And even then.
Because they couldn't get it. They couldn't get the ick out of the building.
Yeah.
They had to level it.
I've heard that happening before.
So welcome to Dunning, everybody.
Yeah.
There's ample parking out front. Big, long boulevard you get to park up next to.
Get out, adjust my hat, grab my doctor's bag. I cannot promise you that this will be in any way pleasant. In fact, I can promise you that it will not be.
Well, nothing else involved in this case has been pleasant, so...
You're about to meet a new low, Mr. Doyle.
Probably.
Trudge up the steps to the door.
Yeah, a wide brick building of State Hospital Dunning probably reminds some of you of a school because of the size and the arch entrances. You can feel just that general malaise that floats between the budding spring trees here. While they are budding finally here in March, you have a feeling that
there won't be a lot of fruit on these trees.
Yeah, probably not. Since the early years of Dunning, the hospital dealt with a ton of difficulties. Anybody here that's a local Chicago investigator, at least for the past 5 or 10 years, would know that fires, power problems, water issues have been well known here, and there have been riots.
As a doctor, I've heard quite a bit about Dunning, I assume.
Yeah, it's got a reputation.
Try to avoid sending patients there if at all possible. And
you have probably, in your past experience, doctor, you have probably found creative ways around recommending people here. Just because of your nature of wanting to make sure people are okay, and you would be concerned about sending them here.
No one sent to Dunning is okay.
Not for long. Over the years, it gained a reputation around the children of Chicago, like I mentioned. It's a place you would send your worst enemies. Visiting hours are from 10 to 4. You guys have arrived pretty early on in the morning. So as you arrive, a spot hidden.
We'll see if you guys can crochet. Is it just me or does this place make your teeth hurt?
It makes a lot of things hurt.
Not even a little bit. I am totally trying to...
Ooh, 15.
Yes. Nice.
Oh, very good.
Half.
Excellent.
Nope.
If you made your roll, check your boxes, make sure.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not already. So, Mr. Doyle and Miss O'Shea, you catch sight in one of the upper windows at Dunning. You catch the sight of humanoid forms. You can't really tell man or woman, but you see forms in the window staring out in between the slight cut of the curtain.
Me and Mr. Forsyth went up the stairs first and didn't see it.
You didn't. You didn't.
I hold the door open for Miss O'Shea.
Did they stand there for a while, as we're looking, or...
Yeah, they don't move. They just stand there.
I feel like I'm holding the lion's mouth open for the lambs, but I hold the door open for people as they enter.
Fair enough. Now, there are ample amounts of signage to direct you towards the main reception area. The vestibule, the opening area for this place looks within reason. It appears as if it's, while it might be Spartan and simple, it does appear to be clean.
All right. Well, shall we head up to the front desk?
Okay. There are a couple of orderlies there working the front desk, and then there is a nurse that sits behind the counter, and she appears to be writing in a logbook and just kind of busying about her Monday morning. You see no other people waiting in the waiting area. Although visiting hours did just open, just to be clear, so it's just past 10 at this point.
Right. I approach and just calmly wait. I don't interrupt her morning.
She eventually looks up. Oh, I apologize. I didn't see you there.
That is okay, my dear. Good evening. Good morning. I'm sorry. I've been traveling for quite a while. I'm here to see a specific patient.
Of course, and you are?
My name is Dr. Tattenbach.
Dr. Tattenbach. A very good doctor. And who are you here to see?
I'm here to see the Grace Holden, please.
Right. Grace Holden. She sets the logbook aside, and she pulls out another kind of, almost looks like an accounting book. Mm-hmm. It's just a really long, it's got like hard cover to it. It's got a label on it. You catch it real quick as she opens it up. It says patience.
Okay. She opens it up and she starts riffing. Is there coffee brewing?
Probably somewhere.
Okay. It smells good, doesn't it, Mr. Doyle?
It does.
It's wonderful. It smells.
She gets to a page and she starts going down. Yes, I have her here. Are you her doctor?
I am. I have the family physician.
Very good. Persuade, please.
Okay. 11 under 20. No, sorry. No, I missed it by 1. Okay, sorry. I had 10, so 11
you can
by.
Spend luck.
You can spend luck.
Okay.
Spend a point of luck.
Okay, I spent a point of luck.
To make that a success.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Sweet.
So give me your line then.
What's that?
You're her physician?
Yes, I am her physician. I've been her family physician for a short time now, and I unfortunately was not able to gain as much information about the family as I would like, and I really would like to do an examination of my family's patient, one of the patients in my family, please.
Well, I can absolutely let you see her.
Wonderful.
So she takes up the logbook and she writes in it and then kind of flops it up on the receptionist desk. If you would just sign an initial, please.
Wonderful.
I'll get to the rest of you folks in just a moment, okay?
All right. Mr. Doyle, my eyes are not great. If you could hold the page, make sure that the light is...
Of course.
I'd make sure he can see the rest of the page, just in case there's any other information on either of the pages. And
Would you like to use spot hidden to make any sort of direct glance at what's going on?
Oh yeah, it's an extreme success.
Very good. So there isn't anything right now on this list page that you see, but when you do see, what you do pick out is that the admitting nurse, when she wrote Grace Holden's name, after she wrote it, she put a star next to it. Nobody else on the list has a star next to their name. She takes it back.
Thank you very much. I would also like, if you would be so kind, 2 more things, and I promise we will be out of your hair very shortly. An orderly, perhaps, to see the records room, in which any records of Miss Holden, I would be needing those as well. Copies are fine, of course, you may keep the originals, I don't want them. And 2, may I please have a cup of that delicious coffee that's back there?
Of course, Doctor. I'll have Theodore come here. You see a orderly gentleman, probably 6 foot, maybe 190, 200 pounds, walks over. This is Theodore. He'll help you get to the records room.
Oh, wunderbar.
I can show you. This is Grace Holden's doctor. And I will absolutely get your coffee. Just give me a moment, okay?
Of course, there's no rush. You have been more than accommodating, my dear.
And
Thank
just give me a moment, folks. After I deal with this, I'll be back to help you, okay? He stands up and heads out.
Well, the orderly is there.
Yeah.
Theodore, was it?
Yes, sir.
Ah, very good. Well, I'm anxious to see my patient, so if you don't mind, I would like to send my assistant, and this is actually her. This is one of an interested member of the Holden party that would be helping us. Could I send them with you to the records room? Anything she does is, of course, proxy to me, and will be completely knowledge. Otherwise, if you would prefer to wait, we can wait. It may take a little longer, though.
Well, if you're her doctor, I don't see the issue with it.
Nor do I. Good man. Very smart. I can see you're going to go far around here.
Okay.
A nod to Mr. Doyle and Miss O'Shea and, Mr. Forsyth.
I'm going with you, Doctor.
Oh, well, Mr. Forsyth, it would be good company to have.
Yes.
Mr. Doyle, Miss O'Shea, I just need the records. Copies will be fine.
Absolutely, Doc.
Okay. Theodore is going to go ahead and lead on. So
you can go with them. We'll just be sitting in the waiting room until
Right.
the coffee gets back, and then when it gets back, I'll be doing exactly this.
right.
I'll go see Grace.
And then I'll go see Grace.
Mr. Doyle and Miss O'Shea, you begin walking down through dining. The orderly takes out from a very large ring of keys a key and starts opening doors. And you can see pretty quickly why they keep the doors locked here. As you enter the first long hallway, you kind of pick your way through people. The chairs, those of them that sit in chairs, some people are very direct and intent at staring at the floor. Others watch you intently as they move past. Some of the bodies are assumed to be sleeping on the floor, perhaps passed out from any sort of pharmaceutical concoctions that they've been able to come up with, or perhaps exhaustion. It is fairly clear from your first few steps inside Dunning that they are overcrowded. And you can tell that the bleach that gets used here is fairly strong. And so the medicinal effect that you're used to inside most doctor's office, even Dr. Tottenbach's office, because he has to keep things clean, there's a definitive step up in scale here.
This is an aggressively clean smell.
Yes. They walk you down to the center point of the building and then out the back. When they walk you out the back, they walk you to... You see a long building on your right and a long building on your left. You see two of them. They walk you to the left, and they head you down towards what appears to be a dormitory, for lack of a better term. And you can see that there are people out in the yard having morning exercise, if that's what you call it. Many of it is just people existing out here. It's not even exercise per se. It looks like attempts are being made, but the orderlies aren't really very enthusiastic about it. Theodore does not speak. He just continues moving. When you get to the dormitory, which is again that long building on the left, you see a sign which says female dormitory. So it's pretty clear that they separate both the men and the women here. Not surprising. Theodore gets you past two of the locked doors and then into another receptionist who, for the most part, doesn't really give much of a glance as you guys walk through. But Theodore walks you left, and then you go down another hallway, and then you start seeing female patients. Much like their male counterparts, they wear a specific dress, and they're in any manner of state. Some are well kept, some are completely unkempt, and others are kind of somewhere in the middle. But you get led to not a patio area, but it's a sunroom of anything, right? There are several windows in this room, which is much different than the rest of the hospital has been. And it seems several of the female patients have congregated here, and they are, sitting and talking, or they're mumbling to one another. And Theodore says, "Stay here. I'll collect Grace for you."
We weren't looking for Grace.
No, they were
Going to records.
I know.
Oh, okay, okay. So we're all going in,
So,
or they
they went.
Oh,
And he turns to you and goes, "I thought you were looking for Grace. You're not looking for Grace?"
Well, the doctor was going to investigate. Going to examine Grace.
Make me a spot hidden roll.
Yes, barely.
You see his eyes dilate just a bit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the records, of course. He turns around.
I'm gonna look, is there anybody that, because she has a description in her death certificate or whatever that was.
That's her admittance.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she
Is
has
that the
height,
one that was
weight,
redacted,
hair
too?
color.
No, that's one Heather has, is the obit.
yeah. Hair
or
color,
something.
black. Eye color, brown. Height 5'3", weight 112 pounds.
That's probably a bit
lot of
different.
ladies in here. The only one that you've seen that's actively looking at you is mouthing the words "help me, help me, help me" at you. She's not speaking, but she's trying to communicate with you. The tough part for you to juxtapose it with is the fact that she's confined at the moment. They have her strapped to a chair.
Okay.
But you don't see a woman meeting that description here.
Oh, there isn't one.
You don't see Grace Holden here. I mean, that you would believe is Grace Holden. Most ladies in here have either brown or black hair. There's one lady here who's blonde, and there's no way it's Grace Holden because she's too old.
Oh,
Hair
no,
color,
Grace
black.
has
Eye
black
color,
hair.
Oh, does it? Does it
Yeah.
say black
Grace
hair?
has black hair, brown eyes.
Okay. So yeah, there could be a couple of ladies in here. Sorry.
Okay. But they're probably in dressing gowns and stuff, so I wouldn't be able to see.
You'd have to go and ask them.
Well, no, as I can see them,
Oh.
are there shoulders showing? Because I'm looking for bite marks, basically.
Oh, okay. Just as a cursory glance, you don't see any, but you'd probably, depending on where the bite marks are, you might have to do a closer examination.
Okay.
Theodore leaves. He walks out. Almost like he's going to go retrieve something.
And just leaves us there?
Yep.
I'm still back in the waiting room and think about it. I'm literally. So, Mr. Forsyth, I hope they're having. Yeah, they're doing bad. I think. Who's cough?
I'm gonna start inching a little bit closer to the ladies, and looking around and So the one that's restrained, I mean, does she have black hair?
She does.
Okay.
I guess I'll look out in the hall.
You look out in the hall.
Feels gone.
It looks like he's already around the corner. The hair in the back of your neck starts standing up.
Detective sense.
You see another orderly, a different guy, come in. Same orderly uniform, a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter, a little bit thinner. He comes in. Can I help you folks?
Yeah, Theo was supposed to be taking us to the records room.
Theodore, right? Yeah, we don't call him Theo around here. Records, okay. Yeah, you're definitely in the wrong spot.
Yeah. They just left us here and walked off. How?
Yeah, the war does funny things to you.
No, yeah. Been there.
Let me see if I can help you folks out, okay? He kind of walks you down back a bit the way you came.
Well, I'm gonna stay a step behind and look at the other lady and go, Grace?
Which lady?
The lady that's confined.
Give me a... Let me see your character sheet.
Right?
Let me see your character sheet. You won't be needing that anymore.
Let's light it on fire.
This is in pencil.
This is what we need you to do. I'm going to need you to roll 3d6.
Another 3d6. Am I right up in character?
I would like you to make a psychology roll.
Psychology.
A psychology, yes.
Psychology.
Oh.
For this specific... It's tough, I know, but it's...
I mean, I already know that they're insane, so they could say whatever they want.
Well, it's not that. You're trying to pick up a visual cue.
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay.
That's a 34 when I have 10%.
I mean...
Can you spend a luck?
When you spend luck, she has to spend it point for point.
Point for point. Yeah.
So yeah, it would be 24 luck.
You just want to go ahead with that 24 luck.
I don't know that 24 luck is worth it at this point, but that's a determination that you make on your own.
Right.
The woman that's confined to the chair, she looks around a little bit, and she ends up looking. It looks like as if something's caught her eye out the window, and she starts looking out the window, like intently.
Okay. Look at the other ladies.
There's all sorts of things going on in here. The ladies in this room have two separate modes. Either they're very quiet,
Right.
and very focused, or sleeping possibly, or they're
Raucous
and raving. Many of them are talking about how they miss their children. Many of them are discussing like lost loves and husbands, and you hear ranting about like, my husband was in the war and he killed the Red Baron, and all sorts of just wacky stuff.
Right.
So-and-so will be home soon.
Well, oh yeah, absolutely. Donnie will be home soon, don't worry. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine.
Telegraph illness.
Oh yeah.
It's the telegraph sickness. Breaks more than one woman around this time.
Sadly, yes. So the two of you eventually exit, and you get brought to a rather rectangular working room that has a bunch of filing cabinets in it. And your orderly begins just walking down the aisle until he gets to H, and then he pulls out a manila envelope and kind of sets it on there.
Thank you.
How do you know Grace?
I'm her cousin. She's a doctor's nurse.
Sure you are, buddy.
Was that persuade?
Yeah.
Assume.
No.
Could push it.
No.
You could push it. Hold on. Before you roll, tell me why you're rolling.
Give it a nice.
I know.
I'm trying to like back him up with
So, tell me how you're backing them up.
Well, I mean like with like looks like, you know, like batting
Okay, so
eyelashes.
you could
Try to
Pull down the
phrase
blouse. Keep pulling the blouse down until he forgets what he's
You-
doing.
Right.
you could push the roll based off of her attempting to assist you. So when we push rolls in the game, the thing to remember is you have to tell me what you're coming up with to push the roll. So maybe you're coming up with something outlandish like, listen, I didn't want to talk about this at the front desk, but Grace Holden and I were lovers. And I have to get in here to make sure that, like, you know, yada is true.
Actually, I'll just, well, I never actually met Grace. We're cousins, but we never met. I'm just trying to wrap up some family issues.
Fair enough.
Okay, that's a lot better.
I was gonna say, and then I'm like, when he says family issues.
He doesn't smile, but you can tell that he's a bit more understanding. I think I get it. All right, well, the file's here. If you want to step over there, please.
Yeah.
He points to, like, an area of the room where there's a desk and a lamp and a couple of chairs. He shuts the filing cabinet and pushes the lock in. She comes back with your coffee, Dr. Tumbach.
Wunderbar.
Here you are.
Wunderbar. Thank you so much. It's quite delicious. As good as it's meant.
Your other two guests?
In records.
Oh.
I have no need to take up any more of your time than I had sent my assistant ahead first. And
Of course. Of course. Are you planning on seeing Grace today?
Yes, please. It's, I would like to do a precursory examination, if you don't mind. Perhaps a more advanced examination at some other point in the near future. But right now, I would like to see her at least general state and do a precursory, as I said. Not that I do not trust your work. You seem very capable, madam. But, of course, being a physician of the family, I must do my due diligence, if you will.
I've never actually worked with Grace.
Oh.
There are a few other doctors and nurses here who have worked with her.
Sure.
She's in the dormitory. She's in the female ward of the dormitory here. She kind of looks down the hallway left and right and doesn't see anybody. Give me just one moment.
I am a very experienced medical professional, madam. If you just point the way, I'm sure that me and my associate here will be fine. Of course, usual rules, no touching, no giving, no biting.
Well, no, actually, we need to get someone to escort you because of the doors.
I see.
She stands up and kind of heads back in to the office area behind the reception desk.
Mm.
And then a moment or two later, she pops out with another man, another orderly. This is Reginald. She taps his enormous shoulder.
Reginald, nice
so
to meet you.
he's around about 6'4" to 40 years.
My God, you are a wall of a man, aren't you?
He's a big boy.
He smiles.
You are perfectly suited for this position. Or perhaps for American football. Perhaps you have been to university. Stand up.
He's still going to university.
He kind of pushes aside his rather
1923.
broad
Chauvinism is in full swing.
mustache,
Right.
and smiles. Says, "Good morning, Herr Doctor."
A man from the homeland. Ah, wunderbar. In German.
Sure.
It is so wonderful to be able to speak normally.
He replies in German. Of course, I understand. My mother and family only came here 5 or so years ago, before the war.
Of course.
Got too bad, and then I came here because it was good paying work, and it's better than being in a war.
I don't drop my smile, but I look around. This place is horrible, isn't it? It's abysmal. How do you survive a day after day in this place?
Lots of bleach.
It smells like it. Speaking of, as we walk, Reginald, was it?
Yes.
Have you seen anything around here that you would qualify as, I'm assuming where you work, extraordinarily unusual?
He pulls out his keys and goes to the first door.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "I think the doctors here are a little quick with medicine."
Mm-hmm.
He puts his key in and turns it and opens the door. I worry that they use it as a crutch.
Mm.
You hear the receptionist from the desk. "Reginald, use English, please." Sighs.
I turn around. Mein God, it was my fault, madam. I'm sure, like me, we rarely get to speak in our original tongue. Please, Reginald, it would be fine. You speak in English, you have a very good grasp of the language.
Thank you, Doctor.
Indeed.
He closes the door and walks you guys down that first hallway. It doesn't really get quote-unquote creepy or bad.
Sure.
Until about halfway down, and that's when you start seeing the people like laying in the hallway and like kind of some things that would concern you as a doctor, like why don't these people have places to
Where is his
recuperate?
pets?
Right, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And this is when I look at you guys and say, "Run like it's spell on wood!"
You walk out. Actually, walk through the main building, and then walk out, and then to the left. And Reginald begins taking you towards another long building. He explains that the women and the men here are separated, and so we have to go to the women's dormitory for it.
Absolutely.
You are walked down the hall past the multitude of somewhat inebriated asylum folks.
They got a baby at the table.
You're led out the back door, and then down a small, basically not stone path, but a walkway that leads to a dormitory building. Behind the dormitory building, you can see that there's some sort of smokestack, probably for a
Crematorium.
or maybe some sort of incinerator. You can see that there are other smaller buildings on site as well. You also see, as the folks who came before you you see several people. It appears to be on the back lawn going through some sort of calisthenics program. Except the orderly who is leading them through this is a little less than enthusiastic. And so people are kind of wandering.
Look at Reginald. Is this normal? Since we're away from Nurse Ratchet at the front desk and go back to German, is this normal?
Unfortunately, he replies in German. Unfortunately, I do not control the schedules here. Nothing runs on time anymore. Nothing works properly. The water here... Doctor, do not drink the water.
I do not wish to, but perhaps should I take a sample?
The city knows the extent of the water problem.
I
Yes.
see. It's filthy.
It is because the water table here is bad. It has been poisoned by something. I have no idea what. They have found sulfur deposits in the water.
Really? High levels of sulfur.
Higher
Is that
levels.
normal?
Not from around here.
Before we enter the house, or the building proper...
The dormitory,
Yeah. And is there anyone other that works the hospital around closer? Or is it just us?
So far, it's just the three of you, although
Okay.
the walkway between the main building and the women's dormitory is not very far.
Okay. Reginald, you have no reason to do so. You can say no, of course, but is there a way that you could show me where the water pump house is also at?
He looks around. Like you can tell he just immediately, first blush, he looks like he's probably not supposed to tell you this.
Right.
He replies in German that if you go behind the girls' dormitory to where the incinerator is and then you turn immediately eastward, you should be able to go to the pumping station, although it is locked and you would need a key for it.
Wunderbar. Thank you. Mr. Forsyth. Attend to me, please.
Yes, Doctor.
Is Miss Holden, again to Reginald, this time in English. Reginald, is Miss Holden in here?
Yes,
Thank you. I'm sure you have many things to do.
many.
You may leave the key with me if you'd like, and we will lock the door after that. I am, of course, a medical trained doctor, don't worry, and I will not do anything to endanger someone from the whole motherland.
Unfortunately, the key is the same key I would get back into the room with.
Ah, I see.
I cannot be without it.
Then perhaps you would wait out here for a few minutes.
I will.
Thank you. Mr. Forsyth, with me. Enter the building.
You guys enter. This is at the time when Miss O'Shea and Mr. Doyle are reading through the paperwork. You get walked directly past the dormitory receptionist desk here, where there is a female nurse working. You get walked past a couple of orderlies and then into a longer hallway and then eventually what looks like a set of dorm rooms. There's a line of rooms. This is what you would call a Kirkbride style asylum. So very common, late 1800s, especially in America. Kirkbride is basically a 2 to 3 floor longhouse building, right? That's built out on a. It's almost as if the buildings here on the campus here form a sort of like elongated V.
Okay, kind of almost an arterial setup.
Yep.
Where you have you have a main and then you have two branches,
Right,
east
exactly.
wing, west wing, sort of.
Right, and the
Okay.
branches are separated because they're obviously male and female patients,
Sure.
and they have to be separated here. If Dunning operates how you would assume it does, those two groups do not come into contact very often, if at all. The male patients are probably, some of them are probably here for some fairly
Violent and possibly
vile
sexual
things
problems.
that they did, yeah.
Okay. Rapacious and such. I certainly hope Miss O'Shea and Mr. Doyle are alright. Are the doors in here, are they labeled name-wise, or are they just numbers?
They are
Unmarked.
not labeled with
Unmarked,
names, and
completely
they are labeled with numbers.
Okay.
So the receptionist or the nurse behind the counter looks up when she sees you come in. This is not definitely an older lady, but she has more of a matron-y appearance.
Good afternoon, Fräulein. I am Dr. Tattenbach. I am here to see Grace Holden, please.
Yes, the front desk rang. One moment. She stands up and she comes out from behind the desk and then gestures down the hallway.
Hat on, cane under one arm, doctor's bag under the other.
The admittance is for 15 minutes.
Wonderful.
Will that be enough time, Doctor?
15 minutes would be actually quite fine. And as Mr. Forsyth here is not a trained medical professional, do you mind if he waits outside the building? Would that be fine? Mr. Forsyth?
Would you rather have me wait inside, Doctor?
I would not. Mr. Forsyth, is she leaving or?
Yeah, she's just kind of trailing out of your immediate range because she.
Yeah. Mr. Forsyth, outside. Richard, I drop the tone of my voice. The doctor confidentiality.
Go right ahead.
Outside. Richard, the gentleman over there mentioned something about the water here, and I am a little concerned about the patients. If you could do me a large favor and investigate, just take a brief look at the water pump. I think it would be most illuminating.
Sure thing, Doc.
I think you will find it back by the incinerator. Around the corner.
You see the nurse waiting at a door.
Yes, I think my associate will wait outside.
Very good, Doctor. Very good.
Thank you.
You two finish up in the records room.
Okay.
You get her medical records. Do either of you have medicine?
No.
That's okay, because I can give you some what I would call known knowns. You see a copy of the exact admittance form that the doctor has.
Okay.
There are some differences in the form.
Okay.
So, I'll give you a moment, and I will tell you what the differences are.
Okay.
This form here, the form he has, clearly states that her religious persuasion is Catholic. That is also true on this form.
Okay.
The suicidal tendencies, which on this form is labeled unknown, that is labeled yes. The second form,
Okay.
the line which says vascular and respiratory organs and abdominal viscera, I believe it's pronounced, I could be wrong. Viscera?
Viscera.
Sorry. Where it is noted here that it says steady breathing, it shows increased and rapid breathing, which also shows a discrepancy in her heart rate. The heart rate on the original form is much higher.
So she has a lower heart rate.
On this form that I have.
Yes.
On the form we've...
On the form that the doctor has, she seems to be, I don't want to put words in your mouth or words in your head for that matter, but the original forms that you're viewing here, it says that she has suicidal tendencies, that her heart rate is faster than the one that the doctor's form shows, and that her breathing was not steady at all, was rapid, and it looks as if the attending physician was fairly concerned about it. You see a picture of Grace Holden, so now you know what she looks like.
Was it that lady?
Sure was.
Just gut feeling. Okay.
When you get down to her room, Doctor, the attending nurse opens the door and there's no one there. And the nurse looks for a moment and she goes, strange. Perhaps she's down in the garden area.
Perhaps.
She closes the door. Doesn't lock it, just closes the door.
May I take a brief precursory glance at her room? Sometimes the environment can tell a lot about a patient.
Of course, Doctor.
My dear, when I open the door and take a
Toss the
brief look
place.
inside. Yeah, flip the mattress, light a fire.
Knock on.
Hey, I found a fire under her bed.
Knock on the walls. Knock on the walls for hidden panels.
When we leave the records room, is that orderly waiting for us?
Knife.
Yes, the orderly is waiting for you. The records room is actually not. It's just down the hall from the main desk. And when you guys leave the records room, you can see at the far, far end of the hall, we're talking probably a good 100 or so feet, or if not more, you can see that there is the lady that was sitting behind the receptionist desk is down at the other end of the hall. She looks like she's doing something. Mr. Forsyth has cleared the hallway at this point, so he's not viewable to you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay, so the records room is in the same building as the women?
Yeah, because because of the way Kirkbrides work, the attending physicians would need documents close by when they're going to attend to patients, and it's easier to keep male and female records separate.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to look at the attending and be like, well, we'll just meet up with the doctor and Grace.
He nods. He escorts you completely from the room, and then kind of ushers you back towards the main reception area for the dormitory.
Okay.
Well, tell me what you're doing, Doctor.
Well, cursory glance at the room first. Obvious fixtures, bed.
It is very Spartan in here.
assume.
The bed is very simple. There is a
Okay.
rocking chair.
Okay.
There are no windows.
Okay. Obvious.
There are very few personal effects, if any.
Okay. Rock the rocking chair back and forth. Does it creak?
A bit, yeah.
Okay, so that's well used. Look under the pillow and under the bed briefly. Use the tip of my cane to lift the mattress a little. I don't really want to touch the mattress as much, but
There seems to be something under her bed. It's small, probably no longer than 3 or 4 inches, no wider than maybe 2 or 3 inches. It almost looks like, I don't know, it's white and papery. You're not sure what it is.
It's a name.
use my cane to use the head of my cane to fish it out.
When you fish it out, it not disintegrates, but it rips in half.
Okay.
It looks like. Give me a. What sciences do you have, if any?
I know I've got. Let me
Give me natural world by chance.
I have. Let's see. Medicine. I don't have. I'm just the normal 10. I do have 75% biology.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
I'll give you a biology roll for it.
37 under 75.
Check that box.
Hey, yeah.
That appears to be molt.
Like skin,
Uh-huh.
like snake skin, kind of a.
Yeah, something molted in here. Now, it's not unheard of for snakes to get in buildings. So
Sure. But is this skin snake-like at all? You said it was what, a couple inches long?
A bit, yeah. I mean, you don't see any intricate scale patterns.
Sure.
They seem a little bit longer or wider than you're familiar with, but
I'm getting a definite Junji Ito vibe here.
Open up my doctor bag. Do you have any empty jars? In
oh
here?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You're a jar connoisseur.
Sure. I drop the bits into a jar, drop it back into the bag, both in game and real life. I cannot pass up a really neat jar. It's weird.
Yeah, it was a
little jar. It's like neat. They're weirdly shaped and stuff.
Yeah, just don't can your peaches in it afterwards. Okay, Doc.
So you exit.
I do.
The-
If there's nothing else to see, quick look around. If there's nothing else to flip over, yes, I will go back outside.
The nurse is waiting.
Okay.
Rather
Impatient?
Yes, she's staring
Okay.
at the room. The door. You open it.
I do apologize for my tardiness.
This way, Doctor.
I close the door behind me, very gently.
She walks back down the hallway.
Okay.
Mr. Forsyth.
Yes.
You exit, and you see Reginald standing there, looking kind of oafish.
I'm huge.
Right. Very large.
Mr. Reginald, I'm in the mood for a bit of a walk. Would you care to accompany me so that nothing untoward happens?
Of course.
And I'm going to just start walking toward the water pump.
Okay. You walk around this section of the Kirkbride, and it takes you a good couple of minutes through the... And there are pathways. It's not as if it's just, grass or bushes or anything. I mean, this facility appears at some point like somebody cared enough about it to make reasonably decent walkways.
Yeah.
You walk to, the south a bit, and then eventually kind of veer back towards east.
Mm-hmm.
You see the incinerator, and then you see to the east there the building that he mentioned before. Actually, he mentioned in German, didn't he?
I was speaking to Reginald in German, but I mentioned to him that it was off towards the incinerator.
Right, so you would know what to look for.
Yeah.
There is a building that is
I'm just going to stay up for a second.
off the Kirkbride just a bit. That, given your...
I have a decent amount of skill in engineering.
Right, given your structural knowledge of how buildings work, you're assuming that this is where
the pump house
the
is.
pump house is, yeah.
Hey, at least when you get inside this building, there isn't going to be somebody that's going to blow it up and then leave you behind in it.
Maybe.
I mean,
You assume a lot.
Right?
who knows? Maybe.
Stuff happens.
That's right. It sure does.
He
Okay.
still held a grudge in Star Wars.
So,
It happened months ago, man.
are you walking then back towards the pump house?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Reginald, he does his best to follow you, and he gets to the walkway where the right path would take you towards the incinerator, the left path will eventually take you to the pump house, and he kind of starts to slow down a little bit.
Is everything all right?
I don't know what the doctor wants with the pump house, other than the water, but we must make this fast.
Of course.
He begins to hustle.
Yep. I begin to hustle as well.
He hustles down to the door and he takes his keys out. And as he's going for the door handle,
Yeah.
you can see his right hand is shaking as he puts the key into the lock. And then he looks at you once again and says, "You're certain." He turns the lock over.
Mm-hmm.
And then opens the door.
And opens the door.
Yep.
What do I see?
You see what looks like the innards of a pump house.
Okay.
So if you've ever been to a pump room, which I assume you may have, given all of the crazy buildings that your character may have been in, you see a kind of a balcony-ish walkway, which is where you start at, and then it goes down on the left and the right-hand side towards a centralized cistern, where there is a big piece of machinery running, but that's really not what grabs your attention first.
Mm-hmm.
What grabs your attention is the smell.
Maybe a scroll up.
What is the smell?
It smells like a book of matches in here.
Sulfur.
Mm.
A lot of sulfur.
Yep.
Is this downstream from the stockyards? I mean, it's a good ways away, but...
No, actually. Yeah, no. The stockyards are far too south.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
So... I want to look at the machinery first.
Yeah, I think we're sure to go get Grace. But Grace was
Before
in
you
that room.
Yeah.
Specifically with the machinery. You're walking down the steps and some of the rusted handrails and whatnot that are there.
I have a feeling
If you're gonna look at the machine, what are you looking for
It's
specifically?
not her.
I'm looking to see if,
But we know what she looks
given that I'm smelling sulfur,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that the groundwater is polluted, but the machinery itself would, as a result of the action of drawing the water, acquire a crust of minerals. Especially the water is very hard around here because it's limestone. And
That's very true.
but, however, as a person who has worked in various forms of water removal and water quality, I would be able to note if there's anything unusual about, say, the mineral concentrations, or if there's any damage to the pump caused by this. So I would like to look at the machinery. Would you prefer engineering or mechanical repair?
I'm going to say engineering.
Alright. 42 under 51.
Very good. Checks that box.
When I quit.
So, you begin inspecting it. What you find on some of the pump pieces is a kind of yellowy and greenish, almost like not a cake, but it has you feel like it would have a cakey feel to it if you touched it. I mean, you can find it.
Right.
But there's definitely active sulfur in this area. Like, this water's
Right.
pretty close to poisonous. So, yes, you find this yellowy cake substance around some of the pipe. Some of the mechanics here.
I would like to take my handkerchief,
You can take your handkerchief, sure.
and I am going to take the pocket knife that I carry, and I am going to chisel off some of this substance. Put it in the handkerchief. And then put the handkerchief in a pocket. I don't have anything to carry any water samples in. I don't see anything that could carry a water sample.
You haven't really looked around very much other than the pump, so...
Yeah. Let me look around and see if there's anything to store water in or...
Give me a spot hidden.
Yeah. That is a 92 over 34.
I'm going to say no. Yeah, unfortunately, you don't find anything that's reasonably strong enough to carry the water, container-wise. It looks like there's a broken bottle down here. So at one point, there might have been something to hold the water. But
does it look like anybody's been hiding out in here or something like that?
I mean, maybe. This seems like a really poor place to hide out, though, given the smell.
Right, but Reginald is very nervous for reasons that seem strange. Because, I mean, if it's just a pump house and they know the water quality's bad, I mean, if that's like an open secret here, it's not like it's anything that he should be nervous about.
Sure, but you've worked with a lot of workers in industry before, not necessarily this one, but so it's not impossible to consider that maybe Reginald just knows he shouldn't be letting you wander into building maintenance areas.
Yeah.
And maybe he's a little concerned about
Losing his job.
This is true.
I mean, I get, given everything you've seen in previous episodes, I get that you're obviously a little weirded out. You should be, but I just don't think you have enough information yet to jump completely off the deep end yet.
Right.
Or go for it. Just do it.
Oh, I could just ask him,
Screaming into the
You
void.
could. He's outside.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and step back out.
Okay.
Maybe he's just paranoid, man.
You step back out.
Sure.
There appears to be a great deal of corrosion on the machinery.
It's true.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell me about, why are you so nervous about being out here?
I should be doing my duties, sir. And I'm here at the pump house with you.
I motion to the door. You'll probably want to seal that back up.
Yeah, he moves quickly around you and locks it.
This is a duty, though. Your patients are, your responsibility, correct? If something was poisoning them, you'd want to make sure that it wasn't.
If only I could do something about it myself.
You certainly have, sir.
He gestures back toward the Kirkbride.
Yes.
James.
Yes, I am.
You get led into you get led down the hallway first.
Yes.
And then as you're getting led down the hallway, Miss O'Shea and Mr. Doyle appear out of another room.
Mr. Doyle, Miss O'Shea, I hope you have found everything to be satisfactory.
Yes, we have everything.
Wunderbar. I am on my way to meet Miss Holden right now, and you are more than welcome to accompany me if you would like. Miss O'Shea is my assistant in this matter.
Yeah, the nurse doesn't seem to...
Doesn't seem
seem
troubled.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, these are visiting hours, so it's not only medical staff that get to visit patients.
All right. Head over to speak to Miss Holden.
You head over. You guys pass through the same two doors that act as sort of an interlock for the garden area.
What about the room that we saw her in?
Right, that's the room they're taking you to.
Okay.
The garden room, the quote-unquote garden room, because there's 4 or 5 windows. And this is the only room where there's at least a reasonable amount of windows let sunlight in. Sadly, today is overcast, but there is at least some natural light in this room, even if it is overcast. So this is the garden room, as they call it. The garden room is a place that's got 3 or 4 different potted plants. It's got what appears to be some sort of music box in here, some sort of phonograph player or some sort of record player in here, which seems reasonable.
Sure.
And then they've got those nice windows And then some couches and some chairs. And there are books to be read. Of all the rooms that you've been in as a doctor here at Dunning, this room seems the most reasonably appointed.
Personable?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is how the rest of the hospital should be.
This should not be the shining achievement.
Correct.
This is the crown jewel.
Yeah, you see about 5 or 6 other patients here, all in several different states. It looks like a few have been recently medicated, maybe within the past minutes. You can tell the difference between someone's there and someone who's been administered and is starting to waver a little bit.
Right.
At the far end of the room, there is a woman in what appears to be just a regular chair, although maybe there is some sort of mechanical contraption below it. You're not sure. But she appears to have been secured to the chair. Mm-hmm. She's got dark hair. Mm-hmm. She's got a face and figure that at one point you believe probably made her quite classically beautiful, although the stress lines on her face show a rather troubling picture. Someone who's gone through quite a bit.
All right.
And you get led over to her.
Excellent. Miss Holden.
She looks away from you.
My name is Dr. Tattenbach. Is the nurse still here, by the way?
She's
Okay,
taken off.
it's just us. Excellent.
Yeah, and there is an orderly or two in the room, but they're more like just kind of strong, silent type folks. They're not really doing much. They're just being aware.
Mm-hmm. Miss Holden, my name is Dr. Sigmund Tattenbach. We have not met before. I am investigating into the various goings-on that surrounded your family as of recently.
She shivers.
I understand that you have been through an incredibly trying time, and madam, whatever you wish to tell me, I will believe you. Something that I doubt you hear very often. First and foremost, how are they treating you? How are you physically, madam?
It's hard for her to move because she's restrained kind of in the upper chest area, and then also it appears like her arms and her legs are individually restrained.
Okay.
It's all proper medical equipment that's been used.
Okay. Electric chair style, arms down, legs
Yeah, arms down, and then it looks like her fingers have been put into some sort of cups or cuffs for the chair to keep her from maybe digging her fingernails into her hands.
Okay. Yeah, I lean over and whisper to him that she's suicidal.
That does fly in the face of what you read in her record.
It's odd. When I give him the records, he might as well look at
what
he's doing.
Okay.
Maybe the copies that I have.
I flipped through them real quick and...
you can see the differences. Differences in her. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is wrong and this is wrong. Like you can click off.
Does it have any scars noted on the forms?
Yeah, is there any on the original forms?
No, the original forms don't have anything as far as scars go.
Okay. Miss Holden, we would be eternally grateful if you could tell us what has happened from your point of view. And as I said, we will believe anything you say.
She goes from looking out the window to kind of rolling her head around and then looking at you just a bit sideways.
Does she have the morphine lull?
No.
No. Okay.
No. The look that Grace Holden's giving you is one of exacting awareness.
Okay, she is quite home right now. I understand you went through a rather trying time. Please, illuminate us.
They took him from me.
Your boy?
He was so sweet and perfect, and they took him from me.
Who took him from you?
She shakes her head. The things that were done. You can tell her arm is trembling.
Mm-hmm. I very gently put my hand on her Here, not
forearm?
here. Yeah, on her forearm.
She screws up her features a little bit. She gets a little physically, visibly angry.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't tell you what happened, did they?
They didn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He thought he could control everything, but he didn't bet on me.
This was Swift.
Swift. He came and he called on me like any other. He worked my husband to the bone. Oh, he's charming. He's charming. But he didn't bet on me.
You gave him more than he could handle.
He talked to me, I didn't talk to him. Her right arm starts shaking. Most people are focused probably on her. I imagine she's pretty good at keeping people's attention. Just in case, though, save for the doctor, who's with a patient.
Yes.
Everybody else can make spot hit rolls.
Well, no.
Mother puss bucket.
What you got there?
100.
Awesome. We like that.
18.
Okay. Roll a spot hidden for me, would you like?
I'm not in the room.
Oh, that's right. You haven't made it there yet. Never mind. Wunderbar.
I was supposed to stay outside.
Yep, that's true.
That's not what we do. That's
No,
not how we do this here.
That's the
Yeah, no, that's gonna hurt your chances definitely. As far as the spot hidden goes, what you see on Grace is that she does have some sort of mark on her neck. It's here. It's not completely visible, but there is something here. There's something there. There's some sort of mark, whether it's a bite or a brand or a cut. There's something.
I'm gonna nudge the doctor a little bit and then try and point it out to him.
You nudge it and then point at your own spot
Yeah.
on big sign. Hey, dumbass.
Probably fairly easy enough for you
Yeah.
to pick up as a doctor. Grace shifts in the chair a little bit as best she can,
Okay.
and whatever part of whatever's on her chest or her upper pectoral area on the right hand side that you saw, her clothes cover it now. They killed Sammy. Swift. I could tell you, I could spin you a yarn about that meat company. Whew.
Sam's dead.
When did they kill Sam?
I don't know. They told me they killed. Wait, or I killed him. She starts crying. I don't.
Mrs. Holden. Sam's not dead.
I lost my boy. Don't you understand that? I lost my boy.
He's not dead. I've seen him.
Multiple people have seen him.
Where? Well, where is he?
He's hiding
Hiding.
And we
from
are doing
Swift and the others.
And we are doing everything in our power to keep him safe.
Do you know where he would be going if he was trying to hide?
She seems to lean her head back against the rest, the padded area of the chair, and then kind of come back forward a little bit.
Can I take that opportunity to check her neck pulse and get a look at the thing on her shoulder?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Little opportunist.
19 under medicine of 75.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You go to get her pulse.
Yes.
Her pulse is up a bit.
Sure.
And the thing that is on her neck area is definitely some sort of crescentish bite mark or cut.
Okay.
You just simply don't see an accompanying one yet.
Sure. Just the one.
Uh-huh.
I make sure that Doyle sees it as well, or at least try to make sure that Doyle sees it as
See a orderly come around and pull one of the curtains shut.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Shane. Mr. Doyle.
Do you know where Sammy would be going if he was hiding? Anywhere he'd go?
She seems to look away for a moment, and then she kind of snaps back to the moment. He'd probably be at our home. He'd go home.
There's nobody there.
I don't know that.
What did Sammy like to do in his own time? In his spare time?
Sammy was he was a character. He would he spent a lot of time in just like any boys. He played in the street or with his friends, or he'd get too close to the jazz clubs and to listen to music, or I could be able to keep the kid in school. The teachers kept telling me they couldn't teach him anything. He's too smart.
I'm sure he is a very bright boy.
I don't know if I don't know. I think they're trying to kill me here. She looks directly over at another patient that's sitting in a chair about 25 feet over.
Mm-hmm.
That one over there. She gives me the eye every now and again.
Well, we will be sure to keep an eye open for her. And we will come back quite soon.
She kind of flexes a bit against the restraints.
Do not injure yourself, medium. Do not injure yourself. You will do Sammy no good whatsoever if you hurt yourself.
You hear her strain, like her breathing strains a little bit.
Are you feeling well?
You get the whiff of urine.
I see.
I gesture to the orderly, open the curtain.
Miss Holden?
Well, the curtain doesn't obstruct you from them.
Just
The curtain is just them closing the curtain on the big windows.
right. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a pull around ER curtain. Okay.
It is not an ER curtain.
Okay.
There's very little privacy here. You're literally asking her questions in a room where there's a ton of other people. But granted, the garden room's a little big, right? So like the section of it is probably a good, 20 or 30 by 40. It's a fairly large room.
Check her right arm.
Okay.
The one that was shaking. Look, everything I can see. Are there any marks?
Well, she's armed down, so you have to either loosen her restraint to get it to flip over, or you could look at some of it, but it's
Mr. Doyle,
pretty well fastened.
hold her hand.
Yeah.
I have him hold her hand in place, and then I loosen the one on her arm, because I want to see the inside of her arm.
I promise I won't make no trouble. She smiles.
Don't make me regret this.
I
Miss
step
Holden.
back.
Yeah, a lot of women told me that before.
I make sure he's holding her hand.
Mrs. Holden, please do not make me regret this.
A looker like you, I can imagine. So just to be clear, Grace Holden, while in a very, very difficult state, the picture that you have of her from her medical records, her appearance is 85. She was not in her prime a bad looking woman.
Right.
So, yeah, and she's obviously not the same anymore given everything she's been through, but both mentally and physically. You loosen the restraint, and you keep her arm pretty well. What's your strength?
60.
Okay, so for the moment I won't make you roll, but you keep her arm
For the moment.
level while you loosen up the restraint a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You loosen it. Are you loosening enough to just flip it over, or are you loosening it up all the way so you can have free motion of her arm?
I just want to flip her over, arm over. I'm not trying to free her hand
Sure,
entirely.
got it.
And that's why I have him
Got it.
holding her wrist.
Okay, so you're holding her wrist, and when you're moving her arm around, she doesn't offer any sort of resistance. She lets it happen.
Okay.
On the underside of her arm, You can see that there are scratch marks.
Okay.
Mostly on the upper part of her forearm.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see anything concentrated any lower than that.
Okay.
So if the paperwork says that she was trying to harm herself, there is at least no marks of it here on her arm.
And
that
that
she
is
was.
a very inconclusive way to... If she was suicidal, that's not the area to do it.
No, of course not. There are a ton of other ways you could do it.
Yeah. I look at her and raise an eyebrow. May I ask?
I had an itch
Is it still there?
every day.
Is it just in that spot? All over? On the inside?
How much do you know, Doctor?
I hold her, I push her arm gently back down to the armrest and put the strap over the top. As I'm doing this, I'm very slowly talking to her so that she doesn't,
Bolt.
Yeah, and occasionally throw a side look at Mr. Doyle.
It seems like he has a pretty good handle on physical.
As I said, Miss Oldham, I believe a good many things that you would tell me, and I have seen some truly horrible things over the last few days. So I would believe a lot.
He's down there.
Down there.
The mud hole.
She looks at you like immediately. What do you know about the hole, girl? Have you been down there? Did Swift take you down there?
Not yet.
No.
You were down there?
There's a hole.
In the packing plant.
Where the fire was.
But there's something else there now.
But I think there was always something there.
Very good.
Girl speaks the truth.
I open my doctor's bag.
Okay.
First, I pull out a small amount of laudanum.
Yeah.
Does she seem agitated? What's that?
Before, is there anything else we should know?
Yeah, you probably have some experience. Both of you probably have some experience with laudanum giving
Oh,
you
yeah.
a war. And
Yeah, this is the hammer. Okay. I'm about to bring the hammer down. Yeah, I'm about to bring the hammer down.
Mr. Doyle takes the laudanum and brings it all.
So much better.
It's about this just gets me to normal.
Jesus. She replies, "Oh, there's tons more. There's tons more. What do you want? What?"
We're trying to put it all together. We need to know what's going on. We have bits and pieces, but it's not...
And if we're going to save Sammy, we need as much from you as possible.
It's too late. It's all too late. He can't speak to him. He doesn't have it.
But
He's
you
a
did.
sad little man who doesn't have it.
Swift did not have it to speak to this being. But you did. You could speak to him. And this is why you are here. When it spoke back, perhaps.
You see the orderlies finish up, kind of moving a couple of the patients around, and then they...
Are they taking notice of us now? Like,
I mean, they've taken notice
Sure.
of you being in there, obviously,
Sure.
because you're the only other, regular quote-unquote people.
I think we're running out of time.
They close up the rest of the curtains and kind of adjust the patients as necessary.
I look at her and I go, did they make sacrifices?
We all made sacrifices.
No. Did they kill people for the creature in the hole?
She starts breathing really rapidly. I don't want to do it because I don't want to give myself a fucking embolism.
Yeah.
Panicked
Sure.
breathing.
Yes, she starts panicking.
I take the bottle of laudanum back from.
She begins intoning something very low. Like the tone in her voice drops to an octave she should not be able to carry.
Deep voice.
Oh yeah.
I look at Miss O'Shea.
Like, as in, are you writing this down?
Well, yeah, I will write it down. Unless it's something I recognize.
This is throat singing right now.
She's become a Mongolian throat singer? Sweet.
No, she has not, unfortunately, become a Mongolian throat singer. Although give her time, right?
She's probably not speaking Latin, right?
She's not. No, she is not speaking Latin. She intones several words which are difficult to make out in anything close to English.
Okay.
They are a wrapped succession of letters and very few vowels, which...
Can I write it, like, phonetically?
Yes, you can. What you get from her is something like ma-sa, sa-sa-sa-ga. You get some really strange word.
What kind of a listen roll would I have to do to memorize it?
You wouldn't really, because she continues to repeat it.
Oh, it's over and over?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And that's... Give me a listen roll just to pick out a couple of other things.
I got a 1.
That's a critical success.
That was indeed a 1.
Yep.
Jake, were you listening as well?
Yeah, but I didn't get it.
Okay. You hear two things very, very intently.
Do you want me to... Well, I only have 20.
You hear the beginning and the end, and you recognize the chain. The chain of the first part of the word and the last part of the word.
Okay.
And now you know where the breaks are.
Sure.
The critical part of the roll, though, is in between those breaks, what you hear is a deadbolt click. And the lights go out.
Son of a bitch. Achtung!
And now, I need your 3. I need your dexterity. No. There's no rolling.
Oh, okay.
No,
you need the dexterity.
I just
I'm rolling
need
anyhow.
55.
I'm rolling it all, man!
I'm gonna roll the crap out of
Give me
this.
that when I need it.
Game over, man!
Now
Game
you can
over!
roll another double 0 in peace.
65.
65.
James is 55.
55.
Yeah, I saw that.
Then, very quietly,
I'm 60.
Not anymore, you're not.
Yeah.
Since I heard that very quietly, I go, as the lights go up, Scheiße.
Good.
How much do you reduce your speed when the thing takes your legs?
Well. Okay, so, yeah. Let me see here. You'll forgive me as we have not had much, if any. First session, right? The first session we were chasing Sammy.
Yeah.
Through the kiss was the last time we had actual functional combat.
But I wasn't a part of it.
No, ma'am, you were on the stage singing your heart out.
I was.
So, all right. So that was going to be helpful.
That's dope. I was wrong. That's a ring.
What?
No, wait. I have some dope. That's a ring.
What? So before I kick this off officially,
Can I pee?
P, yes, quickly. You would have been left
whole room for that
outside the dorm.
Yeah.
Reginald would have left you there. Are you staying there?
Yeah.
Because if you are, I would like a spot hidden roll from you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I was told by the doctor to wait outside.
Yep.
Spot hidden. 27 under 34, sir.
Very good, sir. So, in the past few minutes, you would have seen a couple of things.
I'm really hoping.
Given the position of the dormitory, given the position of the garden room, the one with the actual windows,
Right.
you would have seen those curtains shut. Now, as a man who has done some time in Panama,
Yeah.
you are familiar with an officer's quarters thick curtains,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Those are the same style of curtains they're using here on this dormitory, meaning they're meant to block out any vision,
Right.
right? Your spot hidden gave you the opportunity to notice where your compatriots are, and you had an ability to kind of, at the forefront where you are, look left, down the dormitory, on this side of the Kirkbride, and then see that your compatriots were inside.
Okay.
After several minutes and the continued closing of those curtains, you lose sight of them. So you would know that they're there, and then all of a sudden you can't see them because you see the curtains close. You see an orderly closing these curtains. You'd at least be aware that had happened.
Right. I would probably at that point move inside, but not into the room where they're at.
Well, you'd be in reception.
Yeah, I'd be in the reception area.
Sure. Okay.
But I would know about where the door was that they went in.
Yeah, it'd be down to your left, and then you know that you'd probably have to take a right and then a left, because the way the Kirkbrides kind of flow outward. Yeah. You'd have to take a right and then a left, and then you'd eventually be in the garden area after you pass through some of the hallway sections. But yeah. I mean, you have a pretty, given your talents and your skills, you have a fairly good, geolocation understanding where people are. Many people don't have that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is dark.
Quite. That loud.
And full of bodies for Jake
No.
to shoot.
The night is dark and full of terrors.
It is now.
Well, yeah, actually.
The night has 1,000 eyes.
And the hills have eyes. So I will not regard this as a surprise round.
Oh, good.
You're welcome. But that said... Okay.
On the ground.
Tiffy feels something whiz past your head. There is an audible whoosh that goes past your head. Now, while it's not completely dark in here, it is pretty dark.
Right.
To the point where it's going to present a disadvantage to any combat rolls that you make. Okay? And if you need to familiarize yourself with that, there is a piece of paper that should be on the table there that will talk about advantages and disadvantages, at least I believe, if memory serves correctly. Right? So essentially,
No, it just has difficulties.
Nope.
if you're disadvantaged in a roll, you roll your percentage dice, and then you roll an additional tens column die, and the higher of the two is what counts because you're considered disadvantaged.
It's like rolling advantage or disadvantage in D&D.
I know, but we don't want to talk about D&D in this actual play. Because
played with it. So.
Yeah, let's just not. I don't actually. It's fine. It is what it is.
Right.
I know people that like it. I know people that don't. I know people that like the new Pathfinder. Whatever, it's fine.
I've not played any.
Whatever your flavor is, that's what I say. Okay, so that said, that action taken, Tiff, you are 65, yes? Mm-hmm. So you hold the initiative at the moment.
I am going to drop.
Okay, so you're attempting to kind of maneuver or dodge into a better position, or just trying to get the hell out of there?
Yeah, well, I'm just like, I just want to drop
You're just
low.
flat into the floor?
Yeah, and then I can start moving from there. Like, basically drop, look, like, see, like, how many sets of feet. Like, I remember the doctor being there, Doyle being there, how many other feet are moving.
In this situation, any type of exacting information brought on by sight is going to be a disadvantage. You
right, because it is dark.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm trying to basically judge movement by shadows.
So give me a spot hidden.
Okay.
And you're disadvantaged on the roll.
Okay, so it's the extra, right?
It is.
Okay.
It is the extra.
Spot hidden. Okay.
Spot hidden.
Neither.
Okay. So you drop. That's not hard to do.
Right.
You kind of wish you'd put your hand somewhere else. It's a little wet here on the floor.
Oh, right, because she peed herself. Excellent.
You got a handful of Grace Holden pee.
I mean,
I'm sure there's nothing contagious in it.
You hope it's just pee. And you hope it's from Grace Holden.
And we go again.
It's really the doctor's pee.
It's Doyle's.
Thanks. Doctor?
Yes.
You also feel a whoosh, but you hear a noise before the whoosh.
Okay.
And it appears to be a very, very light metallic sound before the whoosh.
Okay. Metallic sound. Can I get a general direction it came from?
Well, it was...
I mean, like, even just quadrants? Is it like...
It was, you think, possibly behind you to the left or behind you to the right, one of the two.
But either way, it probably came out from me from behind.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Doyle is now your action.
Oh, okay.
You're next, Ducktail.
I am going to move to the nearest curtain and yank it open.
Okay, so you're just doing it from memory?
Yeah.
Okay. So you move across the room, because the Grace was against one wall. You go across the room or so, and then grab onto a curtain. So it's a strength roll to rip it off its moorings or its rings.
That won't do it, so I'm going to have to push it. I'm going to literally jump on it, like...
Okay.
Wait,
You
how many push rolls again? Oh,
So,
it's probably here.
You make another roll, but you have to make it a half.
Yes,
Oh,
you have to
okay.
make it a half.
That'll do it.
Okay. So you give it a pull at first, and you realize it's not going to come free. You can stretch both your arms out and kind of wrap the curtain up, and then literally jump and pull on it with all your body weight. Okay. This has two effects. One, the curtain rips off its moorings just because of the sheer weight. Two, you hit the ground like a rock. Right. While you don't necessarily take any damage, you're a bit jarred. It does spill some light into the room. You'd almost wish you hadn't.
Crash faster than the stock market. Why do you keep saying that?
So, kind of positioned.
Market's never crashed.
There are some orderlies now that are positioned nearby. There is one behind you.
Mm-hmm.
There is one near Grace.
Okay.
And then there is one that is basically kind of over top of Tiffany's character. She's now, Miss O'Shea has flattened herself to the ground in the puddle, as it were. Not really, just a bit close.
Face down.
Hey, if it's dark and they thought you were standing?
The orderlies are carrying some rather strange bladed weapons with them. So they have some sort of blade with them. It's just curved at a very strange angle. And they look like they're perfect for making cuts into flesh. It is what they appear to be good at. Doctor.
My turn
It
first?
is now your initiative.
Okay. Well, cane in one hand. How close is the nearest orderly to me?
Well, he's behind you.
Like,
probably like... he's within melee range at this point, essentially.
Close enough to smash a bottle of laudanum on his head?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Grace wasn't using this anyway.
Uh,
I got either a 36 or a 46. What am I doing here?
Okay, so the cool part is and I should have probably said before the roll, but it's okay. You're not going to be under darkness penalty anymore because Mr. Doyle ripped a curtain down, so there is now enough visible light for you to see kind of what's going on in here, and it's enough for your eyes to adjust to like, oh, okay, well, there's this guy.
Okay, so I'm not at disadvantage, so there is no disadvantage there.
Look at that, weapon card's been pulled out. That's amazing.
Well, mine is...
Your cane? Is this the
Yeah,
one?
I have it in hand. Yeah, it is actually my cane. But...
It's okay.
No, it's not okay.
I know, I gave you
I
no
haven't
cards.
pulled the weapon yet. I've been busy.
You've been a little busy, yes.
Gun.
Gun, yes. You pull a gun, I want to see that.
Right? Here it is.
Hey, I'm not saying. I just came prepared.
You see the curtain go down, right?
Yep.
No, he's inside.
Yeah, I'm inside.
Yes,
I don't hear
he cannot-
anything now.
He can see you at this point because he's blocked by a bunch of hallways.
But I need a free hand first, so... yeah.
Yeah.
So, 46. I'm not sure what the combat...
So
Brawl?
it would be, well, technically, I suppose it would be brawl. Yeah,
brawl.
I
So,
suppose.
Fighting brawl.
Fighting brawl.
Fighting brawl. Okay, fighting brawl. Okay. 25, so no. Not even there.
So the idea is that we were going to smash it against his head.
Yeah, I'm just chucking basically as close as I can get, just haymaker backwards to...
Sure. You let it fly.
Yep.
The bottle of laudanum goes sailing past him and connects with the wall.
Do I have enough action left that I can unsheath my cane sword?
Yeah, you can pull it out. Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Very good. The
Cool.
Last gentleman on our list will act like anything but a gentleman.
Takes off his pants.
Whoa,
Somebody's pillow.
no. This is not that kind of actual play.
Okay.
Although I give it time, you never know.
Right.
Jake, you get slashed at. You're kind of wrapped up in all this heavy curtain cloth when suddenly you're freed from it. And the reason you're freed from it is because a really, really heavy bladed weapon has cut through it. And when it has cut through it, it's going to force you to make a dodge roll.
Okay. Succeed.
Or die.
Hey, thanks.
I'm helping.
You are helping. Held you there for, right?
Oh, yeah.
3. I rolled a 3.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Like Bodie McBoatface.
That's really good.
I rolled.
Do you know why it's good? Because I rolled a 4. Which for this character would have been a critical success, which would have been an immediate maiming.
Right? Yeah, you don't want that.
No, you do not. So just so we're clear, combat rolls cannot be pushed.
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So,
Just letting you know.
I was going to get my brass knuckles out.
Can you spend luck on
That's
combat
that
rolls?
I believe so.
Guys walking head.
Yes.
Okay.
So the thing with, you just can't push them. So the slash comes down. It cuts you free of the curtain and essentially nearly cuts your head off. The angle and the speed at which this was whipped out does appear to cut the air and the curtain rather well.
Hollered to Doyle, "On your feet, soldier!"
Miss O'Shea, the orderly that is nearby you while you are there prone on the ground is going to attempt to skewer you with his blade.
Okay.
You do not have to make a dodge roll because he misses.
Nice.
He misses. He swipes at you. It actually cuts into Grace Holden's chair. And he yanks it back out as he tries to kind of recover.
Is she still chanting, by the way?
She's still saying she's still intoning that same word. That same sort of low-toned, not guttural, but still very throaty word. So, Tiff, it is now your action.
Well, since I have my dagger, can I attempt to, cut his Achilles? I mean, it's right there at eye level.
It'd be a called shot, given that you're asking for a specific body part.
So it's even harder.
It is totally up to you. Depending on your confidence in your melee or melee.
I didn't see it on here.
So it should be.
Probably brawl.
Yeah, it's a brawl roll. It's fighting brawl. So there's a separate melee roll. So it's fighting brawl.
Excellent.
Cool. That wasn't hard to find. Right. So all the just FYI, page 401 through 405 is all weapons listings in the back, but it also in those weapons listings lists all of the skills they pertain to.
If that's the case,
So the cane sword's going to be fighting brawl.
it's going to be fighting brawl. Can I take my points that I took in fencing and add it to my fighting brawl? then?
Absolutely, it seems totally makes sense because it would be the same roll.
Yep.
So make a fighting brawl roll, Mr. O'Shea.
All right. 11 out of 25.
Holy shit!
Hey.
You stabbed somebody. Okay, so what's the damage on your knife?
I don't know. You're going to give it to me?
Well,
Sword can be 1d6 if it's similar to this.
it's not. It's a knife.
Knife.
It's a knife.
It's a dagger.
Not
Sorry to all of. I apologize vehemently to all of our Australian.
It might be
listeners.
like a D6,
Apologize.
probably.
Paul Hogan just did not leave me.
Paul Hogan did it first. You're just reiterating.
Between
So
Paul
I would say
Hogan
that this is
and
a
Captain
carving
Sirius.
knife. Would you say it's roughly a carving knife? So it is 1d4 plus 2 plus any damage bonus Miss O'Shea may have.
1d4 plus 2.
Yep. if it's roughly carving knife size.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
If it's a switchblade,
Butchery
it's just
knife.
a D4
Yeah,
plus.
right. A switchblade is much, much smaller. I mean,
Right.
blade-wise.
Right.
Not the full half, but... So yeah, you carry that in your satchel. Just don't get stopped by the cops.
Right.
What are you covering? What are you going to carve a turkey later? What are you doing?
For cleaning my fingernails.
Well. So you want me to roll the D4?
Yeah, absolutely. It's your damage. You roll it.
Please.
6.
Oh shit.
I rolled 4.
Egg comes off.
You don't
Okay.
have any damage bonus?
No, I gotta
I
roll.
don't think so.
I have to roll dodge. Should have rolled dodge first, but that's fine. It's okay, he does not dodge. Alright, you stab this dude. So his white, orderly vestments and uniform get bloodied. So you're down low. The only place you can really stab effectively to gain enough, reasonable amount of leverage is probably inside thigh, probably up near the knee or the halfway up the thigh. Yeah,
Femoral artery.
It's bad stuff. He cries out. Oh!
Pretty much longer.
So he has taken. You said 6?
And don't forget to check that box.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
I want more of that.
Right?
Give me 1 second to check one more thing, and then we
A
should
couple
be-
good fights and you're a combat machine.
He falls down. So if you take wounds equal to half or more your hit points, you're immediately knocked prone.
Shock damage.
Yeah, so he falls down. It looks like you've hit an artery, and blood starts pouring out of his leg. And so I'll get back to you in a minute.
I didn't want to have to kill you, but you have these big swords.
Mr. Doyle.
I pull my gun and I'm going to shoot this guy in the slab.
Damn face.
I was going to brawl with him, but dude, that guy's got big ass.
Indiana Jones style. That's-
Look, he brought a knife to a gunfight.
That's
Seriously, that was a terrible idea.
I hit barely, but I
Murder
hit.
hobo and we go.
I hear a gunshot.
He gets a chance to dodge.
Ow! That was my knee, sorry.
Careful. No, I'm more worried about your knee than the table. The table can take it.
That was
Trust me.
one of those weird, just twitch.
Oh, he does. He does dodge. That's an 11.
That's the problem with those people.
Well,
Who can't sit
depending.
still.
You said you barely made it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he sees the gun and he slides to the side. The gun goes off. You hear that. There's no getting around that in the curve.
Yeah, I heard a gunshot. I immediately start moving that way.
Sensory processing disorder. It works almost exactly the same way.
Okay.
Turns out I'm
So
like
I'll get you in the near future.
Yep.
It'll take you a minute to move to the Kirkbride, or through the portal areas down the hallway, and basically the
Dr. Cook.
couple of rooms that you'll have to get through. Give me an in roll.
Yeah, and it's not a little sound because
No.
it's the 45.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like
I've fired several 45 caliber weapons.
Yeah,
It's
good.
An
definitely-
intro.
wow.
This is basically an idea roll.
That is an 09
Okay, so
out of 55.
you hear the gunshot and you're about to set off. And you set off because it's the quick twitch in you that says, there's a problem, I've got to go. You know for a fact you're going to need a key to get through these doors. Because they're all locked.
Reginald's still there?
No, he's back on round. So you're in the receptionist area, which means you'd have to either get a key from the nurse or one of the orderlies around here, or you'd have to bust the doors down to get through. Which, given that it's a
Steel door, probably.
yeah, it's probably going to be very difficult for you. To
I'm
do.
gonna look at the nurse and go, I need that door open now.
Okay, so would
It's
you
like
like
brushing
to
your teeth
persuade, or would you
dirty
like
orange
to
juice.
Intimidate?
intimidate? It all depends on how you go at it.
Well, let's try intimidate. That's
enough.
actually my best chance.
Fair enough.
I mean, it's not a great chance, but it's still a chance. I could go with charm also, but it's not that kind of party.
Well, you said I need that door open now.
Yeah.
You're being very direct, which is fine.
I'm going to push that, because I rolled an 18 3 points will get it for me.
So you're not pushing it, you're spending luck.
Well, spending luck, yes.
I just want to be clear.
No, but I bet he was livid. I bet.
Okay, you spend luck,
Tell me more about this in a bit.
and she
The large man
yes,
says, I need that door open.
right.
Someone
and
has a gun.
Leaps to her feet, and she runs over to the door,
Yep.
and she shoves her key in it and unlocks it. So we'll leave you there for the moment.
Yep.
But I probably imagine you're going to go through the door at some point soon.
Oh, yes.
Jake, the guy that you shot at, is going to swing again.
I'm going to dodge.
That's probably a good idea.
That's what I'm going to try to do anyhow.
That's not going to hit you.
Yes.
He's a fairly good
But if you fumble your dodge, you might fall
fighting
into
brawler.
it.
He's not that good.
No, I did not.
Okay,
Ooh, I made my dodge rolls.
moving right along. The dude you threw laudanum at
Yeah.
is not necessarily very happy about that.
Probably not.
He is angry that you're wasting good laudanum.
You will need to dodge this.
Can I parry?
Yeah, absolutely. If there's a
Sweet.
so what I'll say is, if you want to make a fighting brawl roll while you're using your sword cane to parry in lieu of making a dodge roll, absolutely. Go ahead.
Absolutely do, yes. Alright, 25 under 70.
Okay.
So I make it actually under my 35, so.
Yeah. You parry.
Okay.
You parry, but you do what you can to parry it in a finesse manner.
Sure.
Because his curved blade has a lot heavier of a back end to it.
Yes.
And it will, if you continue to parry, it could damage your weapon.
Yeah, I don't want to lock blades with him. I'm going to the side.
Yes.
Using his momentum against him, essentially.
So it's your action.
My action?
Yep.
When he is off balance, I would like to withdraw my blade and then stick it in his side.
Okay.
Between the third and fourth rib while he's bent over.
Jesus.
Not, if at all possible. Not enough for a cold shot, but, rib cage area.
Okay. So, yeah.
45 under 70.
Okay. So he will attempt to also parry
Yes.
as he gets the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an 11.
Okay.
So he's going to parry.
Ping! Ting!
You hear her behind you, continue to.
She's still chanting
She's
this.
still saying this word.
Okay, alright.
Top of said round 3, and that would be he does not fall unconscious. So, Miss O'Shea, the cultist that you stabbed is going struggles to his feet, uses Holden's chair for a balance portion, and while still blood pouring out of his leg, he's going to lift said bladed weapon and take a swing at you.
So can then I take a dodge to kick her chair out from under him?
You can.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Is that like a 2-for-1?
So I would recommend you do that.
Okay. So it's half dex. Okay. 32. No.
Using her as like a
What'd you roll?
Jackie Chan style.
64.
Can't push a combat roll either. You kick the chair as hard as you can in hope of unbalancing him. Unfortunately,
He's fat.
not only that. No, he's not fat, actually.
He's dummy thick.
It's just big boned. Unfortunately for you, what you did we failed to notice about Grace Holden's chair is that it has
No way.
holders in the back that keeps it from moving backward or forward. So that way she can't really go anywhere.
Rocks.
And unfortunately for you, that also means that you get cut.
Yeah.
Ouch. Is there a doctor in the house?
Actually,
I'll
there
find
is.
fun. I'll do my best to find fun.
I'm not that kind of doctor.
Oh, that's a lot.
Take 4 damage.
Okay.
How many hit points do you have?
9.
You are very lucky. Because if you'd taken 5 damage, it would have been a major wound.
Oh, total?
Yeah.
You have 12.
Yeah, total I have 12.
Okay, good. Then
Yeah,
it's
it
6
wasn't
or more.
half. I
Yeah,
remember
just
you
making
saying
sure.
that it's not
I'm just
half.
making sure. I was getting worried. Because this is not the game to murder hobo in, because things happen.
Getting kind of hectic.
Okay, so you cry out, because when he slashes at you, he slashes at you across the top of the chest. It's really the easiest place for him to connect with you.
Right.
You're in a ton of pain. The two of you obviously see and or hear that somewhere in the perception. You two have been in, LARP-style combats before, so you know that.
Registered at the back of my mind.
Correct. It's been picked up somewhere that someone you care about's probably been hurt.
A familiar voice has cried out in pain.
Got it.
Correct. So that is him and then her.
Oh, because dodge takes my action, right?
Nope, dodge does not take your action.
Oh, sweet.
I don't believe so. So it is now your action.
So I can stab him again then?
You could.
Stabbing him. Let me just keep stabbing and keep stabbing and keep stabbing.
Jesus.
The appropriate sound is ring. That's not good.
Not good.
That's terrible. That's 100.
Yeah, that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's awesome.
No, that's not awesome.
Everybody's like, not awesome.
You keep using that word. That's nothing it means what you think it means.
Exactly.
All right, so you were going to stab him. That is a critical failure, Miss O'Shea.
Yeah, we know, all right?
You know what that wound doesn't have in it? Salt. That's
allow me to put some salt in
You
it.
would think all zeros would be good, but no.
You don't want to collect the whole set. This is not Yahtzee.
No, you rolled a 0. It wasn't 100, it was a 0.
Right?
It's
No
a critical
one's in there,
success.
clearly.
Exactly. This is my point.
If only one of those.
There's no one here.
What is this, like the trick with the aces? It's either a 1 or a 10? I don't get this.
Oh.
The nature of the misfortune or bad luck is at the keeper's discretion.
Yay.
We've been black chipped.
Well, at least your knife didn't malfunction.
So your knife malfunctions.
Okay, so you cock back. And you prepare your swing. And
you forgot discreet.
you're desperate and you're in a bunch of pain because you've just been slashed. And are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
You're right-handed. So you kind of standing near.
Non-Euclidean.
You're still on the floor, right? Mm-hmm. You haven't stood up.
Nope.
You swing up again at him. And when you swing up again at him, you miss badly. And when you miss badly, you come off your moorings a little bit, and you land on your back. And when you land on your back, your follow-through with your right hand slams into the side of Grace's chair.
Ow.
So my knife is stuck in her chair.
And you're on your back. And you're bleeding.
And you're laying in her pee.
I've already been laying.
Okay. So that was just
This is get real now.
Lonnie, what is your dex?
55, sir.
Oh, right. You're joining the 55
Now I gotta
club, huh?
stab. Now I gotta stab something.
Very good. Okay. You will act this round. Not right now, but you'll act this round.
Yep.
Mr. Doyle.
Okay, I am done messing around, and I am going to fire off
You already
my
shot.
maximum amount of shots in a round, which is 3,
Okay.
which gives me a penalty die for all my.
It does. Is there anything I need to be aware of, sir?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good.
So this is a burst fire?
Well,
Could say
it's
words.
not really a burst fire. It's like I can fire off 3 rounds.
I see. Make a skill roll for each bullet fired. 2 or 3. And so round apply.
Succeed at these.
I'm,
If you could,
I'm working on it.
Okay, if you have a choice.
Yeah, so if you could make this happen.
Okay.
Did you make your skill roll?
Yes.
Okay. So you rolled a what on your skill roll?
28.
Out of
75.
okay. So he rolled a 19, but that 19 is only out of a number less than 75. So I don't want to use the exact number.
Right.
But he did dodge, but he did not dodge well enough. Okay, so you made skill at half.
Mm-hmm.
right? And plus some, and he did not. He made skill at half, but not as much as you did. So that will hit.
Okay.
Oh, come to
Roll damage. Take 9.
It's a happy sound.
On roll. Fail. Okay. You fire.
Wow.
The gun goes off, and he drops to the.
There's 2 more shots, right?
I mean, if you want to take him, sure.
Yes. Can I move to a different target?
I don't know if that's allowed.
I'm trying to figure it out, and
I think what would make sense is that you have to declare that you're going to move to another target before you start firing.
well, I mean that's what my original
Yeah.
option. My
Basically, they're not
No, you just double tapping. That's all.
So yeah, with firing a semi-automatic weapon, multiple shots, you apply a penalty die to each shot, making a skill roll for each bullet fired, just as when firing multiple rounds from a handgun. Roll each shot individually, with all shots receiving 1 penalty die. So if you are going to continue, it looks like you can continue to other targets.
yeah.
You just have to include a penalty die on shots 2 and 3.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to shoot the one that has attacking Miss O'Shea.
Miss O'Shea, okay.
That's right on the money for that one.
I think that's so
Yeah.
bad.
Okay, I'm going to make
I will end
a
up buying some.
dodge roll from him based off of awareness of combat, but rather I'm going to give him an attempt, but he'll be at disadvantage because essentially he can only see you from the side, and his focus is pretty well on Miss O'Shea at this point. Yep, he fails. That disadvantage came back to bite him. Get it?
5.
Okay.
Wounded face.
Yes.
Yes.
He falls down.
Seriously, now I'm face up and I'm like,
So speaking of that critical failure, Miss O'Shea, when he falls over, he doesn't have a whole lot of places to fall.
so he falls on me.
He does. He does.
Excellent.
And while you don't take any damage per se, you are now
Pinned.
pinned to the ground by a
Body.
body that is dying or is bleeding out essentially. So I'm going to have you go ahead and make a sand roll.
Oh.
You're welcome, by the way.
Thanks.
This is just like it happened to me in the war.
You see what I get
So I
you for
can
your
roll
birthday?
under, right? Or over?
Under?
Okay, under my sanity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Under.
Like everything else.
No, that's
Nope.
under, Tim. You weren't listening.
There's one sand. Seeing a dead body is usually one.
Being under one is not great.
Totally different.
2 in the room.
Then Mr. Doyle bags another. Your third
I
shot.
might as well.
Remember, you
Hopefully.
need to roll. You need to
Yes.
roll a disadvantage
Yep.
die with it.
Hopefully.
59.
Okay, your skill of
75.
okay. He dodges. That's an 18. This is the guy that you're still tussling with.
Right.
So you hear multiple gunshots go off. Yeah, and you see the guy that you're fighting with move out of the way as one zings past him.
Close quarters gunshots, not great. Okay.
Yeah, no.
My tinnitus.
Right? For real.
Well, James?
Yeah.
Is that a doctor?
Yeah. So this guy is dodging out of the way of the bullets coming at him from Mr. Doyle's gun.
He did dodge, yes.
Okay. Then while he is dodging, I will take that opportunity to give him some good old-fashioned frontier medicine with my sword.
Okay.
Stab.
Here's some quick liver removal.
45 under 70.
Okay, I will give him a dodge roll, but I'm going to incur a penalty on him.
Cool.
Because he already dodged something different.
Yes. He's more concerned about the bullets.
Well, it's a 21, except now it's a 41. What was your roll?
I got a 45 under 70.
Yeah,
So-
okay. You cut him.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll damage.
6.
Okay. Con roll for him. It's an 11. He's Tell you what, these hamster dice are starting to cook up.
Right?
Thanks to our friends at Elder Dice for the hamster dice. So yeah, he is...
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Hester,
Dice, I'm taking it away.
Hester
Lonnie.
puppets and he's pulling your strings.
It is now your action. You may continue through the first doorway if you'd like.
Oh yes, I'm going full sprint.
Okay. Are you... You are not... You know about the second door, so you know that there's going to be another door lock before you get into the hallway which will lead to the garden room. Are you continuing to force her along with you to open doors?
Free action to speak.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Mr. Doyle, do you play chess?
What?
That's what I'm saying. Mr. Doyle, do you play chess?
I know, that's what I said. What?
Okay, looking, castling.
Yeah, what?
No, I'm gonna just try and go right through it.
I
Nice.
kind of nod at the gentleman
All right,
that I'm dealing with.
so?
And her.
I suppose it'd be a strength roll.
Con? Or strength?
It's strength.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
To try to go right through.
And still can't hit anything with a shot.
That is a 99.
Nope.
Okay, so
Mr. Forsyth charges right through the wing.
I mean, you. It's not a combat roll technically. You could push that if you wanted to, but you'd have to tell me how you were pushing it.
I would basically lower my shoulder into it.
Well, let's assume that you've already done that, and that you've struck the door, and it has not opened. And if you were going to redouble your efforts, how would you do that?
I would kick directly at the door jamb. I would try and pop the lock.
All right, fair enough. Go for it.
Holy shit, I made it 05.
Oh, wow. So you hit this reinforced door the first time with your shoulder, and
It doesn't give.
she does not budge an inch. The receptionist behind you, the nurse, she's starting to freak out.
Yeah.
And so through the screams that you hear behind you, you lift your leg and you put a boot directly on the door.
Yep.
And it pops with a hard bang
Yep.
and comes over. Boom! You may continue your movement through if you'd like.
I will continue my movement through. And
You
I'll
hear
stumble.
the cheers of the asylum patients around you as you continue through the hallway. with one woman yelling, "Freedom!"
Oops.
There's no
Other locked
oops.
doors. Be fine.
As your movement's what, 7, 8?
My movement is 7, yes.
So you move down the hallway, and then to your left, and you see just not, but maybe 20 feet or so, you see the garden viewing area, which you saw from the outside, but a few minutes before.
Right.
The picture of the garden area is one of pure chaos.
People
There
are
is-
probably running away.
Patients are trying to move away and get clear. You see a woman strapped to a chair who's shaking uncontrollably. There's pistol smoke in the air, bodies on the ground. You see very, very quickly that Miss O'Shea has been covered by a man who's covered in blood, and she's struggling to get out from underneath of him. It looks like a war zone.
Yeah. I have a gun.
Okay. I have a gun.
Alrighty.
It's making things so much better so far.
Yeah, you know. Nothing better than bringing a couple loaded guns into a mental asylum.
Yeah.
I will take this moment as we are recording to remind you that this is not the game you want to murder hobo through, because bad things will happen.
Well, okay, I have two choices here.
No,
I have already heard gunshots.
You do your thing.
I have already heard gunshots.
And you've made your move, and you've made a skill action, so that's where you're at.
Yep.
That's where you're at for the moment.
Yep.
Okay?
And I believe Mr. Doyle is faster than I am, so I'll see him shooting people shortly.
Probably. Tiff,
Yes.
the man that attempted to attack you, that you stabbed, that Jake shot, is now dead and no longer gets an action, therefore the initiative falls to you.
I want to pull my knife out of the chair and wiggle out from underneath him. Or if I think the knife is stuck, I will wiggle out from underneath him and pull my knife out.
Okay. The knife feels pretty well stuck.
Okay.
So you decide to kind of pull yourself out from under this.
So I can give myself more leverage to pull it out.
You are a mess at this point.
Well, I'm bleeding myself.
Yes.
He bled all over me. Yeah.
This time is my medical license.
I probably look like Carrie at prom.
Kind of, except without the fancy dress.
Well, yeah.
So you get free from the corpse, and with still kind of shaky hands, you grab onto your knife that's stuck in Miss Holden's chair, and you basically spend your action pulling the knife free.
Well, I have to have it.
Yeah, no, pretty much to have it.
What it is.
So, if memory serves correctly, there's one man left in this room at this point with a knife, and there's a man with a sword cane and a gun. So this orderly steps a bit to the left, and then re-engages you.
Re-engages me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you'd like to parry, you could.
I would very much like to. He has changed his footing. I will change mine as well. To accommodate 50 under 70.
You parry.
Yep.
But you quickly catch on to what he is doing.
He's trying to overpower me?
No, he is keeping you between him and Mr. Doyle.
Ah.
So that way Mr. Doyle doesn't have a clean, unmitigated shot at him.
He'll just shoot through you.
Yeah, right.
Well, keep in mind that Miss Holden is right there as well.
I'll shoot through here too.
I don't know.
No, with the mic.
So I'm parrying. So I've parried.
You have parried, yes. It is not your action yet.
No.
Because it's Mr. Doyle's action.
I'm not going to shoot this guy.
Okay.
I'm going to put my gun away and get my brass knuckles out. And I will move to, into flanking position.
Oh, God. There's no +2 here.
I know.
Okay. So go ahead. I mean, you have the move to cross the room.
Okay. I want to make sure before I...
So... Okay, good. Yeah, never mind. He is going to dodge.
60 under 75.
He does dodge. Doctor.
Okay, so
Dodge a knife.
Doyle came at him with the brass knuckles. He has dodged that.
Yep.
Perfect time for you to roll double.
So you're both in melee with him, which means now he's outnumbered, which means he's going to be able to make a dodge roll, but he is now disadvantaged on that roll.
Okay.
Automatically.
Well, I'm going to give him one chance.
Okay.
Bring the blade up under his neck. As in the, if you move, I will kill you.
Well, he's still actively
Oh, is he actively
yeah.
fight? I mean, as in I wanted to basically do the... If you continue to move, I will end you.
Yeah, you'd have to get the blade there, and he's not going to just let you. So.
Well, then screw it. I'll just stab him.
Okay.
It's not that important.
4 versus...
36 under 70.
Okay. I mean, you'll beat him on the roll, so roll damage.
Okay.
Oh.
5.
Okay. Not enough to set off his fancy pants thing, but... Okay. Oh, what?
I realized the action I wanted to take.
Isn't that always how it works? You three people take an action, you're like, oh crap, I wanted to do this.
Sorry.
Give me, because you're in her direct vicinity especially, give me a spot hidden roll, Miss O'Shea.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Lonnie?
Okay, so I see Doyle go and engage this guy, and I see the doctor stab him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't appear to have a gun.
No, he has a huge curved sword.
Like a Kopesh?
It's just more like a Kukuri, but
okay.
It's not so much a Kukuri as it is a long bladed weapon at the end of which there's a bit of a curve to the tip itself.
Okay.
I will tackle him. Full dead run.
You hear the feet pounding. Most of you would hear that, by the way. Even with the melee combat going on.
That is a 22,
footsteps?
sir.
Not just footsteps. Someone's running into the
footsteps. Room. Okay.
Mr. Forsyth reaches the door at full clip.
Okay.
Yep.
And
22.
48 would normally dodge. A 88 does not.
It's
Given that he's disadvantaged. Yeah. So Mr. Forsyth comes in at full clip and hits this dude. Body to body.
Reminds me of my schooling days.
I'm going to have you roll brawl damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, roll damage for me, Lonnie.
Yep.
It should be regular brawl damage.
Okay.
That's right, you get a damage bonus, don't you?
Yes, I do. So that's a 6 and a 1, so 7.
It's a major wound. So that is there. The attack has inflicted a major wound. An amount of damage equal to or greater half the target's hit points. The target must make a con roll, which
Spine out.
you will do.
Finish him.
That is an 86, so that's a failure. So he is knocked out.
Excellent.
Yeah, I just light him up like a goal line stand.
Yeah, there's a flash that goes past you, and suddenly Forsyth and the orderly are like against the couch and the wall, and you hear crunch, and the guy kind of flops on the couch like a fish, and then falls over back onto the floor, and he is out.
Is she still...
She's still trembling. She's not saying anything anymore, but she looks like she's coming down.
I immediately spin, drop to a knee, and begin attending to her wounds.
Okay.
Which they are probably fairly grievous.
Well, it's from basically shoulder to
okay.
shoulder. Yeah.
Mr. Doyle, we need to be leaving.
Yeah.
And I think he should come with us. I look at a wheelchair.
Who's coming with you?
I look at the orderly.
The one that got
You
knocked
can't
out.
really argue.
Yeah.
He's a fair-sized person, so...
What happened here?
Her.
They happened here. She was, I think, as much of a talkative as we were.
So now I see the other
I
bodies.
think they started because of her.
I mean, I saw 2 of them.
Had to.
Now I see the third one that Doyle has put many rounds into. I'll put a round into.
Yeah.
Mr. Forsyth, can you grab him? Could you carry him?
Yes, I can carry you.
No, him.
Yes,
Point, okay.
yes, I can carry.
Good. Put him
I
in
can
the trunk.
probably carry both of you.
Good. Put him in the boot of the car.
The nice thing about having a constitution of 80.
We need the book. Yeah. Put it on register.
Yeah, you heft this guy.
They didn't start attacking until she started making those noises.
On the way out,
They were setting up to it.
is that large book that I signed in on the desk on the way out?
They were going to
On the way out of the main office?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so is the receptionist. That's the thing that's tough about this Kirkbride setup is that leave the woman's dormitory, and then if you want to get out of the facility, you have to go back through the main part of the facility, back out the front door.
Which is
Doc,
pretty much what I want.
Doc, we have a problem here.
We have a large cornucopia of problems, Mr. Forsyth.
You want to exit at speed, but yet they have our names.
I will deal with that. So these are orderlies, right?
Uh-huh.
Do they have rings of keys?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
They have to.
I'm going to grab one,
Uh-huh.
open that door to the main area.
What?
Yeah, the orderly has a key ring
Okay.
that's attached.
Right.
Just
right.
like any other janitor's ring keys, it would be attached, so... Are you taking it?
Yes,
Okay.
quite. Main doors to the open area, or to the main area, where the receptionist desk were.
Lonnie, give me a spot hidden roll. Actually, no. Yes, spot hidden. And you're the only one who gets it because you're technically speaking a builder. Which your occupation is skilled laborer.
Right.
That's a 95, sir.
Okay.
I did not see it.
No, you
I'm too
don't.
busy hauling a body.
That's fine.
And I don't even know why I'm hauling a body, but I'm hauling a body.
Hey, listen, it's Friday. You're playing Cthulhu. You might as well be hauling a body.
Right.
This is true.
Someone needs to
We
haul
really
the
need to
bodies.
get out of here. Is what we need.
I'm working on it.
Or do we? I mean,
Well, maybe we belong exactly here.
Hey, Mr. Doyle, why don't you give me a spot hidden roll? I'll give you guys one more chance at this. Because I'm feeling...
93.
You head back into the main part of the facility?
Yeah.
Cleaned up here.
Um,
We're not leaving stuff behind.
Aside
except-
from the bodies.
right.
I signed.
And Grace Holden and a bunch of freaked out mental patients and a
Well, the
broken
metal patients,
door.
nobody's going to listen.
Speaking of that. Yeah. You head back towards the main receiving door, which goes back into the main facility.
I pull a fire alarm on the way.
They actually don't have them.
This is done, man.
Yeah, they wouldn't have them
Yeah, they would be
somewhere
everywhere.
like that because the patients could pull it all
Right.
the time.
This is true.
As you go back in, Doctor
Yes.
Zorro, as you go back in, you do hear the sounds of several very excited patients from the former enclosed patients in the female dormitory
Sure.
are now enjoying a little free yard time.
Sure. Good.
Except
one
that
hell of a
everyone heard
distraction.
gunshots.
Well, remember, it's a Kirkbride, so the things are very, 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 very late and laid out
Yeah.
wide. So there are orderlies nearby that are coming towards you because obviously they've heard that there's a ruckus.
Could I see like a lab coat or something on the way out?
They don't really have lab coats per se.
Okay.
The orderlies do have a uniform, but to get a hold of one, you're just not in the right area for, unfortunately.
You'd have to
So
strip
I was thinking to
labor.
cover up.
I mean, you could
know.
always stab another
attack
orderly and get a fresh one if you want.
It wouldn't be fresh
Play
anymore.
this
That's
off,
my
otherwise
point.
I'm going to be running like a mofo.
You see a couple of orderlies like coming towards you.
Coming towards...
And at the
Are they
moment,
carrying?
at the moment you see them, you don't know whether they're just regular old Dunning orderlies or maybe there's somebody different.
I'm really rolling the dice here.
You are.
Actually,
Fast talk.
yeah, I don't think that the cops are going to get called.
I don't think so, considering. Not immediately.
No.
So what's the marching line? Just to give my mental state the right feel. You're in the lead.
I'm in the lead.
Who's behind him?
I assumed you guys were going the other
Well,
way.
there's no other way.
Oh, because I thought you guys were heading through the door that Lonnie opened by, booting.
You're all going. You've all gone
Okay.
through that door. You've all at this point
Yeah.
left the female dormitory
Okay.
wing and are headed back towards the main office so you can get out.
Sure.
And that is where on that hallway
Yeah.
you are seeing
Seeing the two orderlies come at
the
us.
orderlies
Okay.
come at you.
I grabbed the key, so I'm probably first.
I'm going to take up the rear.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say I'm probably stumbling behind him.
Right. And then Mr. Forsyth has the orderly in hand
Yep.
And is third.
and is
Just over his shoulder.
The first orderly gets within 3 or 4 paces of you and says, "What the hell happened to him?"
This man was injured. One of your patients had a gun.
What? That's crazy.
Did you hear the shots, man? Come on!
The two orderlies who are closest to you move directly past the line of you,
Okay.
back out towards the place where you came from.
The chaos zone.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You try really, really hard not to have a bowel movement.
Yeah. There is things are really sphinctery right now. I'm making coal right now.
Sphinctery.
Yeah.
Do you proceed forward?
Yeah.
You proceed forward to the receiving area, the reception area, with the
The large book.
large book and the Iron Maiden, as she was. She looks exasperated, but she's also on the phone. You don't know who she's talking to, but when you guys arrive at the desk, she's concentrating on the phone and she's saying, "I don't know what's going on. I know they're trying to deal with it." And she kind of half turns and sees you
They're calling for you down the hall.
What? What's going on?
I interject in the middle of the phone call as with half German if I need to. They're calling for you down the hall. There's an injury. You need to hurry, woman.
Okay, so that's going to be
Yep.
some sort of social role.
Sure.
Some sort of.
So
Just
can either be
social.
persuade or it can be intimidate. Which one you got?
I have
You have confusion.
no
Fast
intimidate.
talk. Yeah, fast talk.
I don't have fast talk.
Do you have perform?
Do I have fast talk? I don't have fast talk. I have psychology, but that's not going to help me here.
Okay. Everybody can persuade.
Oh, we can all. Okay.
No, I mean
talk?
everyone, meaning everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Like everyone
All
has
humans.
the ability to. All humans can do it.
All humans can do
8.
it.
Oh,
Yeah, under 10.
wunderbar.
Nice.
Check that box.
She drops the phone.
Check your box.
Yeah, check the box. She drops the phone and the receiver and runs out from back behind the desk. She kind of almost sort of puts a hand on you, Tiff, like to see your overall physical, like, are you okay? And then she kind of keeps moving.
I grab the book.
Okay. You grab
She's
the
she's covered in blood. It's fine.
Actually, you know what? I'll just pull off the page.
Okay. You pull out the page. And you're exiting.
All post haste.
Okay.
To Mr. Forsyth's car.
So we are going to close the curtain on Dunning this evening. And
Fuck that place.
I'm gonna throw this cultist ass in the boot of the car before we leave.
good because he won't fit.
But I don't
in
want
the
to be in the. I mean,
different cultist. Okay.
No, you could put him in the floorboard of the back seat.
That's not where I want him.
There's enough room in the trunk or the caboose of this vehicle.
for like 5. I mean,
No. Just one.
can't fold them in
you can
half like
put it in.
deck of cards.
All right. So now that we're done killing orderlies, violating our Hippocratic oaths,
Right, Tiff? Translucent.
God.
all sorts of bewilderment. Yeah, we'll close it there. So
Wonderful.
we will see you next week.
I'm really hoping they don't come